1075 The Game.
Ooh, daddy. You could ask what was the most dominating performance yesterday, and we'd have several options to choose from. You got a couple Masters players that just were fantastic yesterday. John Rahm makes double bogey on the opening hole and then gets going and shoots 7 under yesterday. Brooks Koepka was really good. Victor Hovland, maybe, just maybe, Preston, though, people would rather give credit to South Carolina baseball, who just slugs its way past LSU last night. Didn't see that coming.
A lot of home runs, a lot of dingers, balls flying out the park each and every way. I like it. I like it. Playing the long ball game. These guys are stepping up to the plate.
I read you weren't here yesterday, but I was reading the stats yesterday on the pitcher for LSU, and I kept kind of going like, man, okay, it's 1 versus 6. It is what it is. South Carolina's a good baseball team. I've bought into that. LSU's a good baseball team. I know that. LSU's a really good baseball team. I knew that going in. And I was reading the statistics yesterday on the LSU pitcher going in. 83 innings pitched, had struck out 83 batters, and walked just 8. So not bad, right? 83 strikeouts, 8 walks, had a .83 or 8.1 ERA. Paul Skeens was 5-0 in the season. Yeah, quietly, I'm like, well, we'll see if South Carolina's batters can really stand up to this tonight. 2 in the first, get going with another in the third, and then explode for 5 in the fifth, and just put it on them in a 13-5 victory. I was reading those numbers again yesterday, thinking, yeah, I don't know if tonight's the night. I don't know if Will Sanders is going to be up to the challenge. Sanders pitched perfectly fine last night himself. 3 innings, 2 hits, gave up a run. Then they got James Hicks in there after the rain delay. That was part of Paul Skeens' issue. He pitched just 3 innings. The rain delay shut both he and Sanders down. But the Gamecocks at that point had put 2 hits on him. Yeah, he'd give up 2 earned runs. He had struck out 8. He was rolling along. He can strike people out. But the rain delay, a big part of last night's game.
Hey, man, listen, both teams played it. Both teams play in the rain. Both teams take a break. Both teams have to come back. I don't want to hear it. You gave up the home runs. It's all you. It's a equal opportunity for everybody to get dingers hit off them. So no problem there.
I am surprised that they have elected, based on some things I had heard, that they, and as a matter of fact, I feel like this was the SEC. We had Tony Annan in here yesterday, and I kind of got into this a little bit with Tony Annan in terms of paying attention to the weather and how much a coach has a say in things and what a coach can do, as opposed to, like, say, the athletic director. Because I would assume, especially in baseball, the coach is not worried about the revenue at the gate, right?
That's not
the
his
concessions,
not
the
in,
beer, like the beer sales,
not
all
in
that
the
stuff.
SEC. No,
the coach is not very worried about it. The athletic director might look at it and be like, we've got some paying customers here. Don't want to really have to refund all these tickets that we've got. Wouldn't mind selling a few hot dogs tonight. Popcorn seems like it's going to be very good. So maybe the athletic director above the coach is like, yes, maybe we should play. Whereas the coach is like, I don't know. And then you've got the SEC, who has got a highlighted series this weekend, a national series. And I was asking Tony Annan that, you want to weigh in on that, on your opinion of how much a head coach, because the one thing about this today, I get Hope hit me up on our live stream yesterday and did say it's Good Friday. So happy Good Friday to everybody, by the way, too.
Shout out.
But Hope did hit up and say, hey, it's Good Friday. A lot of people might be off. But South Carolina is trading what should be, or what would have been, a couple really good. There's nothing they can do about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a washout. But really good home field advantage crowds for today, what is going to end up being a noon and a 4 o'clock start. Like, I get it. People can go. Obviously, they're not shutting off the gates. But let's be honest, a noon game today, even a 4 o'clock game, is not going to have the same home field vibe that it would for a 7 o'clock night. I get it. It's rain. You got to do what you got to do. I'm Now, but that's why I can understand Kingston being like, well, I kind of like our home field advantage. I'd like to play in that if we could at any way.
Yeah, you
shape, or
always
form.
want to play in front of the crowd, especially from the highlights that I saw from last night. They had a pretty substantial crowd in there, and everybody's excited. And you have the number one team coming in the country, and your team is hot. All of those things are pulling into this idea where you want as many people out there, but you also want to play the games while you're hot. Now, the flip side of that, as a coach, if your team might have took a little bit of a setback last night, you might be like, well, let's see what we can do. Let's maybe delay this a little bit. So there's always gamesmanship going on. There's always everybody has their own personal interests involved in what they want to see happen for the team. So a doubleheader, I'm interested to see how this affects both teams. I know Mark Kingston said that he likes to get the games into the bullpens, and so that definitely affects how you pitch, who pitches when and where. But I don't think there's much answer if those dudes keep hitting the ball like that.
In particular, I went with the whole South Carolina baseball team as a dominant performance. But if you want to single out Ethan Petrie, who last night 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, had a grand slam. I've got a picture on my phone. Petrie was in our studios in our building a couple weeks ago doing some stuff with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell. And I took a picture just because of the sheer size. I think I've showed you that picture. You saw it, I believe.
Does he qualify?
Does it?
Hoss?
He's not because he's he's a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a kid you can tell who's gone through the college weight program just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the frame and the height is there.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking about frames and heights.
Like to be an absolutely dominant player. I mean, the good news, he's stuck in college now for a little while here. I'll see if you can see that picture and let you describe what you see in terms of a height difference between me and him.
Camera angle.
Yes, and the camera angle. Yeah, sure.
That's it.
It was the camera angle.
The camera adds 1 foot.
Yep.
What's
to one person? It adds 1 foot to one person.
Objects in the mirror are not as tall as they appear. Is that right? Yeah, 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. We'll get more into that. The Masters yesterday. There's some things about this Masters that I really like, and one of them is that it feels like, at least it doesn't feel, it shows publicly, Preston, that everybody is making it about Augusta and the tournament and the respect for the tournament and the respect for the course and the respect for that, and not about LIV versus PGA. But we are off to the kind of start you want if you're LIV versus PGA, because Brooksy is back, and he's rolling, and John Rahm looks good, and Victor Hovland's in there, and the leaderboard, I love it. I love it. Now, where do they go today and tomorrow and Sunday and probably Monday? I don't know. I have no clue. We'll have to wait and see. But
so when we come back on the other side, I need a breakdown because I am 100% here for the wrestling aspect of this. I like LIV versus PGA. It sounds good to my WrestleMania type ears. So I need a little bit of a breakdown on who's who and what's what before I pledge allegiance to a side.
Okay, well, I will say there's only one side. It's PGA. But I'm not arguing. I'll go back, and I did that yesterday a little bit just in terms of the one thing. Like, we'll get into that a little bit because yesterday was a lot of fun. You've got a lot of great names. Scotty Scheffler, defending champion, is in there at 4 under. Shane Lowry, who's won a major, is at 4 under. Alexander Schauffele, looking for his first major, is 4 under. Colin Morikawa is at 3. Spieth is at 3. It is names upon names, but all the ones you want. Tiger with an unfortunate bogey there on 18, which pushed him to 2 over after he kind of worked his way back. Phil Mickelson, I guess is in the mix at 1 under. But it's fun to see Lefty there. DJ is at 1 under. Freddie Couples, who was a lot of fun to listen to in an interview after the round yesterday, is 1 under. It got off to the kind of start you want. The problem is, I think we're heading for a stoppage on the tracks here with the weather coming down the pipe. So we'll talk about that here. 803-404-6100, how you can be a part of the program if you want to do so this morning via the Firehouse Subs text line or the Love Chevy phone lines. We'll keep you updated on that as we go through the morning. Chris Deering set to join us about 7:15. A lot. He has sent me a very lengthy text message at 5 a.m. that I woke up to. He is excited. He says there's a lot of topics to get into. So I was happy to wake up occasionally you wake up to angry text messages from people. This was a good text message to wake up to, but he is ready to go. So we'll get him going at 7:15 in between now and the end of the program. We'll cut up. We'll have a good time this morning, get into a few other topics with Preston and Jen, and roll right along. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
Nothing here, but I'm going to text you guys.
Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. If you're going to make double bogey or poor putt, said John Rahm, might as well be the first hole. It had 71 holes to make it up. Ain't that the truth? The 28-year-old Spaniard recovered quickly and locked in to shoot an opening round 65, tying him atop the Masters leaderboard at 7 under with Norway's Victor Hovland and Brooks Koepka of Live League infamy. Good luck to all. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 1201 Main Street, Suite 840, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Sponsored by Midland Air Service Experts.
Furnace freeze-ups? There's an expert for that.
Let your local heating experts at Midland Air Service Experts keep you worry-free with the Advantage program for just one low monthly payment. Call 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
We get tested regularly to know our STD status. Most people have no symptoms in the early stages of infection. Early diagnosis can link you to services that will help you stay healthy longer, reduce costly hospital visits, and prevent transmission to others. Free testing day is April 13th. Call the HIV STD hotline at 1-800-322-AIDS, 1-800-322-2437, or visit scdhec.gov/STD-HIV.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Getting rid of pests is not a do-it-yourself project, so call the 75-year professionals at Dodson Pest Control first. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
Plus, takes entitled with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. Buy a Ram and buy it at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. We have truckfuls and truckfuls of Rams. South Carolina's truck giant stays stocked. up to $11,000 off on a new 2022 Bighorn Ram. Or take one for just $359 a month. Save $5,000 on new Durangos, Chargers, and Challengers. Credit concerns? Not with JT. The truck giant says yes, you can. It's Ram Truck Month at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone, jtsdodge.com.
I'm Jenny, Senior Designer for Cleo & Wolf, and this is Behind the Designs with Boot Barn. Cleo & Wolf is a vintage-inspired, effortless collection with a country sensibility. Each design is thought out and crafted so that it becomes a special staple in her wardrobe. Even if it's just an article of clothing, there's so much meaning to that. In her most authentic, natural state is where her beauty and her confidence lives. Cleo & Wolf, only at Boot Barn.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, my friends, a good morning and happy Friday. It's time for a First Alert traffic update. Not too much to update you on for the humble beginnings of this Friday as we see around the region. Interstates, main roadways, no big problems or slowdowns or confirmed collisions. Hope to see that as we continue on getting further into this morning. Be safe on those travels. Luckily, anything with rain shower activity holds off until a little bit later today. Of course, still need to be mindful if you will be out later on this Friday. But please be listening along. We'll keep you posted on any changes. This has been a First Alert traffic update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Off and running on a Friday morning, 6:20 this morning as we get you up and we get you ready. South Carolina baseball again today, noon, right here on 107.5 The Game. It'll be a long day of baseball, 12, and then it's scheduled for 4 o'clock afterwards. We'll see where it goes in terms of the weather because now you start to, all right, you start to say, okay, what can we get in? Where are the limits on baseball and golf? We're about to learn something here on what players, college athletes, professional golfers can play in because just looking here, according, again, the Weather Channel app that I use on my iPhone here tells me starting at 1 p.m., the weather jumps to the rain percentage jumps to 53%. There's a little lightning bolt next to it. Not good. And at 2 o'clock, it's 79% and a big lightning bolt next to it.
The lightning bolts get bigger?
They got bigger.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's a great piece of writing.
That's
interesting.
The little app here is like the first one's a little tiny one. The one that tells me at 2 o'clock is a big lightning bolt there. Okay. So it lets you know. So it's going to be interesting. As a player, I think 2002.
04 Georgia, we had a lightning and rain delay, and we were playing them.
Yeah, you're right.
The game ended up being close. It was a close game. If my memory serves me correctly.
No, 02 was it because that was the one Pennick fumbled. Corey Jenkins.
02 also, yeah.
Oh, you had a one because 04 was you wore the all black and Coach Simpson had the pick 6 there early in the game.
Yeah, it's interesting now because those games of where we were playing those games in the season. There's more tendency to either heat weather or thunderstorms popping up in that nature, but it does disrupt the game, especially if you have the team with momentum, especially in those particular instances when you were kind of the underdog and you had the things that were rolling in your favor. It gives the better team a chance to regroup and sort of reset, and it's usually in favor of the team that is quote unquote better. I don't know what the case is here with LSU and the Gamecocks right now, but I would say delays sort of favor the team that's better.
Yeah,
on paper.
I do wonder today. You look at this again, this noon game for the Gamecocks. It'll be Jack Mahoney on the mound here at noon. He will go, and has been very good. He'll go against Ty Floyd, a junior right-hand pitcher. I was going to say another very good one. LSU's loaded with good players. South Carolina right now at 28-3. You have to say South Carolina's loaded with good players too. Jack Mahoney's been really good this year. 3-0, 2.72 ERA, 38 strikeouts, 9 walks, and 36 innings in a third pitch. Ty Floyd again will get the ball there for LSU. 5-0 on the season, 2.87 ERA, 31 in a third innings pitched, 36 strikeouts, 10 walks. Does last night, if you were on the fence, does it push you over? Does it push anybody over like last night? Because last night you had the little bit of a rain delay. It did push both Will Sanders and Paul Skeens off of the mound. It brought in the bullpens into play. But South Carolina, it wasn't like Skeens was just rolling along to begin with.
Yeah, if you're that person still, which is fine, you reserve that. If you're scarred, I don't know what's going to change your mind. I don't know what's going to change your opinion. It's going to have to be in Omaha with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth as they're getting ready to win before you probably say, all right, I think this team can do it. I don't know if there's going to be a change. They're 28-3.
Yeah.
They are rolling. They're playing well. They played against good teams. They won midweek games. They've done checked every box that seems to be that this team is on the way. So I think you probably would behoove you to let it go and start enjoying it, because I think this team has all the capabilities to go on a really nice run.
Okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the Gamecocks roll last night and get ready for a lot of baseball today. Again, at least right now, noon and 4, but we will see where it goes with the rain. Just my guess, just uneducated at best guess, is that the first one they're able to get in, it seems like if you look at the weather, the second one's going to be the really difficult one. And obviously tomorrow is really bad while they're moving up the game today. Tomorrow's weather expected to be awful.
So I wonder how that affects strategy, because if you're looking at the weather coming in for the second game, are you holding arms? Are you throwing everything that you can to go, is this the game that you're really going to win, especially when you have a doubleheader on the slate? That affects the way the coaches are going to coach the game, because obviously LSU does not want to walk out of here getting swept, even if it's on a 2-game schedule. You're not going to save your pitching, because it's not like you're going to play another game until your midweek game.
Right.
So there's a lot of strategy that might come into play if the coaches think that this third game is not going to get played. You might see some different bullpen moves, some different pitch hitting moves, maybe even different lineup combinations, because if we only think we're playing one, then we're going to try and get that one.
That's a good point about the strategy to it. Jamie Bradford, who's clearly listening. If you
shout out to Jamie.
If you want to
correct me, please, if I'm wrong.
Oh no, he's already corrected me.
There we go.
Jamie's in a bad mood this morning apparently, because he's already yelled at me via text message. Jamie, why don't you?
Then I already like Jamie a whole bunch. Way to go, Jamie! Keep it rolling.
Why don't you call in, Jamie, and give us your call in 803.
Hi, this is James Bradford.
Right.
You know what? Just call him. We'll call him. We'll get him on in the next segment.
This is James Brad
listening.
Chevy.
We'll get Jamie. Let's call him. Let's get to Joe on the Love Chevy phone lines. Then we're calling Jamie at 6:30. He's awake. Joe, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
What's good, fellas? Hey, listen, man. I'm a diehard Gamecock fan. I love my football team, but I'm through and through Gamecock. Last night I listened to the baseball game on the radio. I was walking my dog and I just tuned into it on my app on my phone. And if I was a stranger and I didn't know any better, and they just said the number 1 team is playing against the number 6 team, I would have clearly thought that the South Carolina Gamecocks was the number 1 team. I mean, we spanked those guys, man. It was unbelievable listening to that game. I hear a lot of people talk about Kingston and, he should be gone and he should be this and he should be that. He's proven himself, I think. He's built a culture. Those guys play with confidence, man. The last time I seen Gamecock baseball like this was when we won back-to-back. And those guys may be down by 3 points. I heard a person say it a minute ago. They could be down 2 points in the bottom of the 8th, and they'll be on the sideline spitting out their little sunflower seeds and just having a good time, like they knew something that no one else knew. That's what I see in these guys, man. And it's fun to listen to them, and it's fun to watch them. Big up the Gamecock football, man. The SEC is on fire right now, because that's about to be 3 national championships for the football, basketball, baseball is coming, and I hope it's a Gamecock team that's celebrating in Omaha.
Appreciate the
Love
phone.
listening to you guys, man. Thanks for what you do, fellas.
Appreciate it, man. A man after my own heart. Many of my pastimes, walking the dog, listening to the baseball game on the radio. That's a good man right there.
And when he's talking about the sunflower seeds, it's like, okay, now we got to get down to the brass tacks.
Mm-hmm.
Ranch flavored, pickle flavored.
Oh.
The pickle ones are good.
What's wrong with you,
Bill? You don't know what you're missing, sir.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Have you done pickle? You've done, because you like chips that are pickle.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine that in a sunflower seed. It's quite a delightful thing. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Ranch, I can kind of get on board with.
Mm-hmm.
I think the go-tos when I played like Little League and up through, I think Pony Ball was like either barbecue, which still I wasn't crazy about it, but I felt like you could sunflower seeds don't need a flavoring. They are what they are. And you got to go with it.
Bill didn't. Look at Bill. Who knew Bill was going to get on the old man rant?
Right. Neg it. Leave it
Those
original.
flavored sunflower seeds. Didn't expect that one, Bill.
Yeah, we got several rants. I'm ready to yell at Jamie Bradford. He's listening this morning, but he's on a neighborhood walk right now, walking off pizza from last night.
Nice.
And he says we call, so maybe we'll catch him closer to 8 o'clock there, so he can get his morning. Well, we'll figure it out. I'll negotiate with him because I am interested. You bring up a great question as it pertains to game one today at noon.
I think this is the one you got to go win. It's a 1-game series. You can't play it like that, but if you know the weather's coming.
It's kind of like a NASCAR race, you got to come up with a different fuel strategy, what's your tires, how you're working those.
I'll defer to Jamie on that, on how I'm interested to hear that because again, you look at the weather for today. So we'll catch up with Jamie Bradford at some point this morning. I'll communicate with him during the break, and we'll get a time to get him on and hear what I think is a great question about Preston. Do you go all in on game one? Is this one where you go, because you're right, South Carolina wins the second one, and it's a 2-0, and if you get the third game in, you get the third game in. If you don't, you don't. But
then you've won the series.
You've won the series, and you walk out of there feeling great about yourself. So we'll catch up with him this morning. The sunflower seed discussion. We might go down that path a little bit more because, just regular sunflower and pickle flavor.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, of all the,
you definitely need some.
If
kind
you'd
of
have said
salt on it.
barbecue, I could be like, okay, all right, that's good. I did that. Ranch, all right. Pickles.
Yeah.
No, all right.
I was new like Preston.
Yes,
Just confirmed it.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in on baseball. We'll get to some Masters discussion, or if you want to weigh in on the sunflower seed discussion, that's how you can get us this morning. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Sunflower seeds, flavored sunflower seeds, not good. Now, we need to discuss that here. That's not the direction to go. Purchasing a brand new vehicle, that's good. That's a great day. That is a lot of excitement. And at Love Chevrolet, they've understood that for over 60 years. They know that when you go to make this new big purchase, that you need a little bit of guidance, just a little bit. I'm sure you've done your homework and you're ready. You've compared prices and you've studied the car and the technology in cars and how it can help you. But it helps to have a knowledgeable, experienced sales team member right there with you, helping you, maybe giving you a little more information that you didn't know about. So when you go to Love Chevrolet, that's why they've been in business for over 60 years, because of the way they treat people, the way they help you, the way they walk you around the 14 acres of brand new Chevys. They explain a few things that maybe you didn't know. They go on a test ride with you, and they help you make an informed purchase so that when you drive off the lot, you're excited, you're happy about your purchase. You're not concerned about it. Love Chevrolet, been in business for over 60 years, treating people, treating families like you and me correctly, not selling above MSRP, offering the $1,000 low price guarantee, having a large selection of vehicles from which to choose with, and also having a sales team that is absolutely second to none. So get out to Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
Do you know about PrEP? PrEP is a medicine taken to prevent HIV. April 10th is National Youth HIV/AIDS Awareness Day and is an annual opportunity to help reduce HIV among young people by promoting HIV awareness, prevention, and testing. To learn more about how PrEP can help you prevent infection, visit scdhack.gov/PrEP. Let's talk about PrEP and get tested.
Yes, we're stranded off the Main Street exit northbound. How fast can you be here?
I just want to check under the hood while we wait.
Hold on just a sec. Honey, it's dark out. I don't think it's a good idea to get out.
I'm sure it'll take them a while.
They're here?
Wow.
We're not that fast, but we're pretty close. When you're in a pickle because you drive a lemon, call Schroeder's Towing. Don't be left on the side of the road distressed. That's Schroeder's Towing with over 1,200 Google reviews. Call now at 772-7930.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Plus text entitled with approved credit call 888-320-6359 for details. We've got nearly 200 new Kias fresh off the truck and nowhere to put them. This looks like a job for Captain Save Man. Nearly 200 brand spanking new Kias from $18,990. Or drive away in your new Kia Sorento for just $239 a month. Is your credit in need of rescue? JT the Credit Crusader will fight for you. Captain Save Man and JT the Credit Crusader. What a dynamic duo at JT's Kia, Killian Commons Parkway. JT'sKia.com.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, my friends, a good morning and happy Friday. It's time for a First Alert traffic update. Not too much to update you on for the humble beginnings of this Friday as we see it around the region. Interstates, main roadways, no big problems or slowdowns or confirmed collisions. Hope to see that as we continue on getting further into this morning. Be safe on those travels. Luckily, anything with rain shower activity holds off until a little bit later today. Of course, still need to be mindful if you will be out later on this Friday. But please be listening along. We'll keep you posted on any changes. This has been a First Alert traffic update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Did not realize my sunflower seed game has really dropped off here. I just kind of got away from sunflower seeds, to be honest with you, Preston, Jen, after I stopped playing, really about high school. I didn't play high school baseball, but sunflower seeds were not part of my life, my nutritional daily supplements after about high school. Tony and Gilbert has sent a picture in, and he's got the Biggs dill pickle sunflower seeds.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm looking, there's also, I see a Taco Supreme, cracked pepper, salt and cracked pepper, I believe is kind of off of the picture there. I see the ranch.
There's one flavor that they didn't mention yet.
Steven weighs in on our live stream and says sizzling bacon and cracked pepper. And then he also adds he needs to try the Old Bay cheeseburger sunflower seeds.
Wait.
Cheeseburger.
Old Bay cheeseburger?
Well, I think it's just Old Bay and then
Okay.
not combined.
Okay, yes. I certified. You need to try them. They are excellent.
Old Bay?
Excellent.
I'm assuming, isn't there a buffalo in there too?
Yes.
That would be another one.
See, Bill, the sunflower game has passed you by.
Yeah.
You need to get back on the train.
I don't know what the terminology is to say, like, it's not left, it's not passing by, it's left me at the station.
It's like Bill's still like, are we still using 8 tracks, sir?
Yeah. This is still with the Walkman, all right? Like this is
Bill left at the Walkman. We've advanced, sir.
The
sunflower train has rolled along. Also, the idea, the concept of the Bigs, because I think once you have the Bigs, you can't go back to the regular sunflower seeds after that. You just transitions can't do it. So if you never had the Bigs, you never had these flavors, Bill, I think you need to give it a try.
So there's also, I see in this picture that Tony sent in if y'all ever, I don't eat these, my daughter will, but the Takis.
Oh,
Taki,
my son likes those.
Taki, you know what I'm talking about?
Now that might be a generational thing.
But it says Takis Fuego. So there's a Takis. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I just know what she Okay. All right. Well, there's a lot there
I
to
would cut it I would stop it at something like a peep flavored sunflower seed. They don't have that. I'm just saying
Oh, okay.
I would have to kind of say,
Mhm.
no,
Mhm.
if you start mixing in those things, that
Mhm.
might get a little
Mhm.
bad. But so far, I think the train that they've been on is pretty good.
Ronnie weighs in this morning, says ranch by far are the best. Buffalo wing seeds a close second.
Do you have to eat them together?
No, I think he's just that's a good question. That
Well,
actually
buffalo and ranch goes
Buffalo and
together,
ranch, yeah. That's, I can see where you're going with that.
Bill, I have a pack of ranch sunflower seed. We're gonna do this.
Okay.
We're gonna do this. I have a pack in my car
Oh my
right
gosh.
now. We're doing this on air.
All right. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's an interesting way to go down because I may choke on one. It's
Then it's a win for the
it's
audience.
we'll see where this goes. 803-404-6100. Rusty wants to weigh in either on baseball or sunflower seeds. We'll see what direction he takes us. Rusty, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Good morning, folks. How are you?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Doing good. Preston, I'm a Somerville boy myself.
My man, appreciate you. Green Wave.
Yeah, I graduated in 76. I saw you play fun just about all the time. I have a question about the series. I know this series is in jeopardy, but don't we play all SEC teams in the league, or because I keep hearing them say, or somebody will mention we're about midway through the season. That wouldn't be right, would it?
They played well in terms of the season. I'm trying to think of the exact number. I want to say it's 52 or 50 without adding it up.
Oh, okay.
So I think in terms when it's at the 31 game mark with it 28-3 playing 31 games, I forget the exact number of regular season games they are playing, but you are right in terms of conference play. It's 30 conference games. So halfway through conference play would be what they're 8-1 right now. 9-1 right now. So you'd have 5 more to get to the halfway point of conference play.
Oh, that's good. I don't want it to end. I'm having too much fun. But listen, guys, you have a happy Easter all the way around. All right, and thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. And I to add on to that point, if you are one of the folks that are hesitant, I think it's time to give the same warning that we talked about with the women's basketball team, that if you are a fan, just get on board and enjoying it because they're playing well. We haven't been this good in a long time. I don't think you probably need to worry about how good we're going to be, or
The wheels just totally falling off. Yeah, and
this is the
live in
time to
moment.
enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, six SEC series left. To answer his question, by the way, no, you don't play every team in the league. South Carolina does not have a matchup with Texas A&M in particular this year. That was one that I was just kind of glancing and looking for. They also do not play Mississippi this year as well. And there's one other Western Division team that I was trying to locate that they do not play. But I'm trying to do it off the top of my head. But obviously, we talked about it. LSU, 2 more today. Then you get a midweek game against USC Upstate at Founders Park on Tuesday night. That'll be followed next weekend by the trip to Vanderbilt. That'll be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series, a midweek game against Charleston Southern, and then another huge series at Founders Park, Florida, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday coming up. There's no real breaks in SEC baseball, but I guess you would kind of deem it to be after the Vanderbilt and Florida series, getting Auburn at home. Again, I don't know if you would deem it as a true break because there's just none of those when you play SEC baseball. But I guess when you play 3 straight top 5 teams and then you get Auburn, you kind of go, oh yeah, all right, that's a little bit of a break. Auburn last night beaten by Texas A&M 9-5. So we'll kind of keep you updated on that as we roll along this morning. Preston is very fired up as it pertains to me trying sunflower seeds and seeing if I can survive that. I think I've had the ranch before though, but again, years and years and years ago. This is definitely not part of the Gunner diet these days, the sunflower seeds. So we'll get to that this morning and try some of those if you want to continue to weigh in. Several of you did. This is a very interesting discussion. John from Somerville, who has already texted in this morning, said Carolina baseball did great. Wish Clemson would have kept Monty Lee. And then he said, jumbo size seeds all the way. David weighed in. He said, David brand chili and lime.
Oh, I could see that working.
Okay.
I could see that working.
John K weighing in this morning, going a little bit different direction. He says last night's atmosphere at Founders was on fire. It did sound. I was listening.
Like I said, I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights, and it looked like, especially after all those home runs, it looked like it was on fire for sure.
Another texter weighing in this morning said Biggs brand sizzling bacon seeds, best by far. Something I know Bill would love. Yes, that I could probably might have to have somebody run out this morning. We'll see if anybody else comes in the building. And said second go-to seeds flavor is Old Bay. So,
isn't Josh? He doesn't really do anything. Can we put him on a run?
I don't know if I should share where he's at, but he's not in the country.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I discovered that
See,
yesterday.
he's not doing anything.
It's true. Yeah. So, 803-404-6100. Jamie, just save it all. Like Jamie's texting me and answering every question that we read. Just hold your horses, and we'll find a time where we're working to get. We'll get Jamie on maybe the end of the next hour here and see what we can do to get some stuff from him, because I definitely want to hear his answer to what Preston, his serious answer to what Preston brought up as it pertains to South Carolina's strategy for handling game 1 and for today. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Hey, this is Preston here for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle your jobs. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with your insurance company to take away the headache. If you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows and mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. You hear me say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Plus text entitled with approved credit call 888-320-6359 for details. We've got nearly 200 new Kias fresh off the truck and nowhere to put them. This looks like a job for Captain Save Man. Nearly 200 brand spanking new Kias from $18,990. Or drive away in your new Kia Sorento for just $239 a month. Is your credit in need of rescue? JT the Credit Crusader will fight for you. Captain Save Man and JT the Credit Crusader. What a dynamic duo at JT's Kia, Killian Commons Parkway. JT'sKia.com.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, get the Kubota Z400 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months, or save $300. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Pioneer Farm Equipment in Orangeburg, 1 mile off of I-26 exit 154B, or at PioneerFarmSC.com.
At Kroger, shopping with pickup and delivery is the same as shopping in-store. Same low prices, deals, and rewards on the same high-quality items. It's one small click for groceries, one big win for busy families everywhere. Start your cart today at Kroger.com. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's Silverado season at Herndon Chevrolet. We have over 50 new Silverado 1500s in stock. And right now, you can save as much as $10,000 off MSRP. So don't wait. Visit your hometown Chevy dealer today and save big during our Silverado sale. Or shop online 24/7 and find new roads at HerndonChevy.com.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile. Smile.
Plate 64262-6760 for complete details.
Wilson Kibler is a full-service commercial real estate firm with offices in Columbia and Greenville, specializing in helping businesses, owners, and investors with all of their commercial real estate needs. Wilson Kibler has a team of skilled brokers that can help advise you on leasing, buying, and selling commercial real estate. They also provide commercial and residential property management services. Call 803-779-8600 to learn more. Wilson Kibler, South Carolina's trusted commercial real estate advisor since 1987. Sponsored by Total Wine and More. Always find what you love at Total Wine and More. With so many bottles to choose from at the lowest prices, it's easy to find your favorite Cabernet or a new single barrel bourbon to try. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, my friends, a good morning and happy Friday. It's time for a First Alert traffic update. Not too much to update you on for the humble beginnings of this Friday as we see it around the region. Interstates, main roadways, no big problems or slowdowns or confirmed collisions. Hope to see that as we continue on getting further into this morning. Be safe on those travels. Luckily, anything with rain shower activity holds off until a little bit later today. Of course, still need to be mindful if you will be out later on this Friday. But please be listening along. We'll keep you posted on any changes. This has been a First Alert Traffic Update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Preston's got the Biggs Ranch, sunflower seeds, and a cup to spit in. Like,
let's do some radio theater here.
I'm gonna
radio theater
during the. I've actually out in my car. I was drinking cold water on the way in the morning. I've got it in a cup. I'm not gonna run the risk of choking and then following it up by a big gulp of coffee. I may as well just go home if we're gonna do that. But yeah, all right. We'll give several of y'all are weighing in. Tony and Gilbert has now just sent the gigantic picture of all the sunflower seeds that are available to be consumed. There's a lot. There's a lot. It's I didn't realize that this industry had taken off in the manner that it has, but apparently
we all have blind spots, Bill. We all have blind spots.
Never thought to really look. So, all right, so we'll do that and try that coming up here at the 7 o'clock hour. Chris Deering due up at about 7:10, 7:15-ish this morning. A lot of high school stuff to get to at the Bow Tires, high school highlights of the week. Coming up at 8 a.m. this morning, Jamie Bradford will join us, and we will talk with him. I really am interested to go back to your question. If you can win that first game today, the noon game, and I think they're going to do everything they can within their power to get that one game in. And then, we were looking at it, the weather report looks like starting at about 2 o'clock is when the really sketchy weather begins. And with that in mind, yeah, I'm with you, Preston. Do you go all out, whatever it takes to win game one, and then you just get involved in game two and say, okay, if we finish it, we finish it. I do think you win this series. I don't know if rankings matter in baseball, but if you win the series, let's say you win it 2-0. Somebody asked on our text line, on our Firehouse Subs text line, would South Carolina move to number one? Actually, Gamecock fan on our live stream asked if we win the series, do we move to number one? It is kind of a confidence thing to move up and just see that number next to your team thing, next to your team's name.
Absolutely. Yeah. You want to move up to number one as many times as you can as possible. It's not going to be any different. We all know they're going to play other top 5 teams. You just mentioned they're playing Vanderbilt, they're playing Florida. So it doesn't matter, but it's awesome to be number one, though, just for a while. Will that change throughout the rest of the season? Probably. maybe. But yeah, if you want to ever be throughout the season when you can be ranked number one, you would go for that for sure.
D1baseball.com is, again, I know there's a bunch of them out there. D1 Baseball is just what I've always gone to and used both for the rankings and for any kind of projections. They have a 2023 mid-season field of 64 out that they put out this week. South Carolina would be, according to them, the number 6 national seed. Now, that lines up with them being ranked 6th here in the country. Florida would be 5, the number 5 national seed, Virginia 4, Vanderbilt 3, Wake Forest 2, and LSU 1. Just projecting ahead, if you wanted to, South Carolina, again, would be the number 6 national seed, and at this point, D1 Baseball would be projecting them to host a regional that it features North Carolina State, Wofford, and Davidson. Maybe Jamie knows a little bit about Wofford and Davidson, a little bit more about North Carolina State. I don't know what kind of projection that would be for that kind of regional, but it does tell you that right now South Carolina is amongst the nation's best. We know that, and I am interested. Again, you win this week. I don't know. I don't know if it matters again long term if you jump to 1 or 2 or 3, but it definitely doesn't hurt. We know that.
Yeah, it does not. It can't hurt. It's not going to be, because this team is not at the point where they're playing the underdog role anymore. They're chasing people. So, yeah, it's a different type of aspect. And especially if they're thinking about they're going to host a super regional, then they are going to be the team with the target on their back. So why not work on that throughout the season? Why not get used to playing as the team that people are trying to take down? There's no benefit. I mean, there's no drawback from being number 1 in the country. There's nothing that can go wrong with that.
Jamie also pointed out in our text, and again, we'll catch up with him coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, but that South Carolina, you look at the remaining series, we mentioned it, Florida, Vanderbilt, Arkansas is on that list. Kentucky is on that list of teams that South Carolina still has to play. Tennessee is on that list. South Carolina, the only, let me just put it this way, the only team I mentioned that maybe Auburn is a break. Well, they're the only team not ranked, and the other ones are all in the top 11. Tennessee's 11, Kentucky's 10, Arkansas's 5. We mentioned Vanderbilt, Florida. It's crazy what you look at, and it does prepare you for postseason play, to play this level of competition, and then to win ball games like you did last night. The confidence level.
Here's the thing about being number 1, though. If they get to that point, just as us as a fan base, how we're really jacked up because number 1 LSU is coming into town.
True.
When we go to travel to those other places, even if we were number 3 South Carolina, there's a difference between playing number 3 South Carolina or number 5 South Carolina than if you're playing the number 1 team. And so you're just going to get not even necessarily the team, but you get the town's best effort. Everybody will be jacked up and ready for you.
So we'll continue to watch. Again, Jamie Bradford coming up in about an hour and 5 minutes, and we'll get some of his thoughts on how you play today's series. Again, a reminder, if you're just waking up, you're just tuning in, there will be a doubleheader today, noon and 4. Again, the weather looks like it's coming in at about 1 or 2 o'clock. Again, I'm going off the weather channel app that I have on my phone.
Big lightning.
Big lightning at 2. Little lightning at 1. Just the little lightning bolt, but the big lightning bolt was in there at 2 o'clock. You can hear both of those games right here on 107.5 The Game. We'll get you going at noon today. But yes, noon and 4. So if you're not doing anything, maybe tickets, or maybe with people not coming, maybe easier to come by. You can check it out, see if you can locate some tickets and get down there for the first game. But noon and 4 o'clock today for South Carolina and LSU to try and wrap up the series ahead of the weather. We'll get into some Masters discussion next hour. Preston was asking about wrestling analogies for the PGA Tour and Live Golf. I'll try and break that down. We'll get into the Masters discussion. Chris Deering for the Bow Tires High School Highlights of the Week. So much to do, so little time. Hour 2 on the way.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Plus, text and would approve. Credit call 888-411-7640 for details. Buy a Ram and buy it at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. We have truckfuls and truckfuls of Rams. South Carolina's truck giant stays stocked. Up to $11,000 off on a new 2022 Bighorn Ram. Or take one for just $359 a month. Save $5,000 on new Durangos, Chargers, and Challengers. Credit concerns? Not with JT. The truck giant says yes, you can. It's Ram Truck Month at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. JT'sDodge.com.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Guttermen have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years, building their business on relationships, not gimmicks. And you can call them locally, not a 1-800 number. Call them today at 791-7147 and look for the guys in the powder blue trucks.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the Guttermen.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
If you've seen them, you need to call me. Hey, this is Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. If you're seeing weeds in your yard, let Midlands Landscape help you get rid of them. When you sign up for our Midlands Green Treatment Program, our lawn experts will give your turf the fertilization it needs while conquering the weeds, ensuring that your lawn will be green and lush. So give us a try. Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Schedule an appointment today at hateweeds.com. That's hateweeds.com.
I am Dorothy Dodson. My husband started Dodson Pest Control over 75 years ago. We are an American family-owned business, and that's how we treat our customers, like family. Visit DodsonBROS.com. And thank you for choosing Dodson.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the power of love Chevrolet, Tahoe, Silverado, Suburban, Colorado. If your dreams for the new year include cruising around town in your brand new Chevy, look no further than South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. Love Chevy, I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
With Bill Gunter and Jen Jensen.
I appreciate the fact that Preston won the race because he had Logano, so he had the win. And we didn't open the show with, I'm a champion. I am so good. I'm a pro.
You got to work on that.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Listen, it's a long season, dude. It's a quiet confidence.
Did he take the lead?
He did.
Proud of you, man. I feel like I've brought you into the show.
And no offense, but it also just goes to show you don't have to know NASCAR to pick a winner.
Jen's so angry. Like, you're going to see, she loves you right now, but that's going to change.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
$7:01 on a Friday morning, a Thursday that saw multiple dominant performances yesterday, some at the Masters, some at Founders Park. And we've been discussing that this morning as South Carolina rolls over LSU last night. You can hear it in the background, too, about what we're about to do. But South Carolina rolls over LSU 13-5 last night. Preston, it's just one of those games. If you were still on the fence, last night should make you stand up and say, I'm with it. This team is really good. This is a great team.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because the players are coming from all different places. They're coming from a freshman. They're coming from guys who've been on the team. They're coming through the long ball, sacrifice flies. The pitching was on point. I mean, there's not a lot of different ways you could slice it up. That was a very, I wouldn't say flawless, but it was a well-executed victory last night, and it wasn't flukish. So, again, I like I said, if you're that person that's wants to be on the fence, that's just where you like being.
It's just you kind of like living in the
That's
world
just
of
that's
drama.
just where yeah,
All
you
right,
just want
I'm
to
with
be
you on that.
you just want to be there.
I'm with you.
And that's cool, but I don't know if that's the best way to enjoy sports fandom, especially when your team is good, because we have not been good in a long time.
Yeah, they're playing at the level that South Carolina baseball, when we were talking about blue bloods in basketball, South Carolina baseball is a blue blood. They are. The history is there. I mean, it's not all just Ray Tanner. Ray Tanner took it to heights never seen before, never been at. But South Carolina baseball under Bobby Richardson, under June Raines, has been a dominant force in the college baseball world for, I don't know, 50, 60 years now. I don't know exactly when the really good baseball started for South Carolina, but this has been a program that's always been really good, and Ray Tanner took it to another level. It's South Carolina baseball to me is kind of, I'm trying to think of another, it'd be kind of like, in a way, Alabama football, and that you get the right person in for the job, and the program will take back off.
Yeah, no doubt. And as you were saying that, I know it's his job to be the athletics director for all of the teams, but don't you think Coach Tanner's just like a little bit happier?
He should be. Yeah.
Just like I know he wants all the teams to do well, but when this particular team is doing well, I know his job. He wakes up with a little bit of pep in his step.
Little smile.
Just a little bit.
He's happy to get to the ballpark today.
Yes. You could just see Coach Tanner maybe just skip into the office just a little bit. Just has a little bit of extra pep in his step.
803-404-6100. We'll talk a lot of baseball as we move through. Again, Jamie Bradford will join us at 8 o'clock to answer a question and to talk about this. But if you're just tuning in, Preston actually asked a good question. Again, we've been talking about the rain in the forecast for today. Expected to start around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It looks like it's going to get really bad. So Preston kind of posed the question, how much do you change your strategy for the very first game? Is it kind of like an elimination game in a regional where it's all hands on deck and you're trying to win it? And then if you win that one, let's see what happens with game 3. You try it out there what you can, but winning game 2 today, winning the series, possibly even just having a 2-0. If you don't play game 3, a 2-0 sweep of the number 1 team. Like, again, what it does for your program, what it does for you, maybe even kind of what it does long-term for recruiting. Sometimes you got to factor that into play.
Man, you brought up 2 good points. I was going to ask Jamie, is 2-0 a sweep?
I would assume it is.
Or is that just taking the series?
It's a good question.
These are technical things I need to know. And also, I wonder if you're going into the game with one strategy and then you see the other team adopting another strategy, and now you're like, oh, they're trying to do this. So now we have to do it. So I have a lot of questions for Jamie.
Okay, so we'll catch up and we'll talk more baseball coming up. Obviously, we'll talk it throughout the hour, but I also want to get into some Masters discussion from yesterday. Chris Deering coming up here in about 10 minutes for the Bow Tires High School highlights of the week, and I get a lot to get to there. So we got a lot we'll do this morning. Right now, the other conversation that broke out in hour number 1 is sunflower seeds. Now, somewhere along the line,
welcome.
Yeah, somewhere along the line. Well, actually, yeah, Jen started it with the dill pickle sunflower seed discussion. Okay. You don't have any in your car, do you?
I don't actually right now.
Okay, thank goodness, or maybe not. I don't know. But so Preston had ranch ones. Somewhere along the line in the last 30 years, the sunflower seed industry boomed. And we went from what I remember as I think maybe somewhere between about 10 and 15, I would say, in my age, my baseball little league playing experience, going from you either had regular, original, I guess, or barbecue. That was it. That was your 2 choices.
I feel like this is how maybe Gamecock Larry might feel walking into a Starbucks and they're talking about mocha frappa lattes, and he's like, I just want coffee.
Yeah.
This is how Bill feels about this.
Yeah.
That was my mom, because a caregiver would go get some coffee and she's like, oh, that looks really good. And she's like, oh yeah, it's like $4.50. And she's like, what? I can get a senior coffee for like 79 cents.
Exactly.
What is this?
They were either black or they had cream in them.
Pretty much, and some sugar,
and maybe a tab of sugar. Now Bill's like, what has happened to the sunflower
apparently
seed
there just needs to be a whole store devoted to sunflower.
Hey, listen,
Zach weighs in back-to-back Zachs, one with a K, one with an H.
Zach Attack.
Zach with a K says, referring to baseball, is this the Monty Lee effect, whereas Kingston working things out? I think it's really just getting better players. I think it's just having experience, B, having better players, C, and maybe most importantly, being healthy. I mean, they're by and large healthy. Zach with an H adds another flavor to he says the Taco Bell flavored seeds are hands down the best.
Okay.
So, we got those. So Preston has ranch. To my knowledge, I've never had I don't remember if I have or not. Just feeling sunflower seeds again in my hand, I'm like, well, these are really dry. So I've got some water, but we'll give, what is this? I got about 5 here. I'm going to move the mic away because nobody wants to hear me like cracking the shell and doing all that stuff as you.
There's a big market for that, ASMR, on the YouTubes. I'm not, that's not our deal, but there is a market for people just listening to people eat. It's weird, very strange, but the internet loves weirdness.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. So I will pop these in my mouth, and you can kind of talk about your master's experience while I take this flavor rush in.
All right. Well, the first thing about the Masters I saw is it's amazing to watch people age in front of your eyes, because I watched Tiger try to get into the bunker yesterday on the sand, and he was so unsturdy. He looked like a flamingo with his weak legs trying to just balance himself, and it was not depressing, but it was like, man, how far have we fallen? Again, this is common golf commentary for somebody who knows very little about golf, because the most dominating performance, I think, from yesterday in the Masters was Jon Rahm's beard. He has a tremendous beard. It is fantastic. It might be the best beard in sports. And that was my commentary from the Masters yesterday. I don't think there's a better beard in sports than Jon Rahm's right now.
I don't taste a whole lot different here. I feel like it's like just maybe a little saltier. I don't know about ranch. Like, I'm not really noticing a massive difference here. I will say the first one I got to cracked it, and because I eat. I don't know if everybody like I pop like 5 or 6 in at a time.
Of course, that's the only way
5
to
or
do
6,
it.
and then I'm like a little chipmunk over here.
Mm-hmm.
I got about 4 or 5 of them on my right side, and then I move one to my left.
Did the technique come back to you immediately?
Yeah,
Was it like riding a bike?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the technique down. He's working through that. He's getting the seeds out. What about the size? Did you notice, because these were not around? I don't think we had these genetically modified bigs back when you were eating sunflower seeds. So what about that? Was that off-putting to you, or was that a little bit different? It's fine.
It's good.
Okay, it's cool. Flavor, give me a rating 1 to 5, no 3.
1, 2, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm. 5 being phenomenal, 1 being I don't need to eat sunflower seeds ever again.
I'd snack on these.
Okay, I'd snack on them. That's a good
But
commentary.
I don't know where you snack. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it. I'm not sitting on my couch at the house. Like, I'm kind of curious to know where you two are snacking on sunflower seeds now. Maybe because I did it
good question.
consistently for so many years at the ball field. Like, I feel like I can only do, and I feel like I can only. It's kind of like the Ace Ventura, where I think he was going on a plane somewhere, and he has them, and he's like nibbling on them. He's building a little pile, and I think he's riding on a plane, and he's building.
It's oddly satisfying to see that pile just grow and grow. It's like, oh man, I'm doing work.
To me, that's kind of like boiled peanuts.
Uh-huh.
It's the other thing. It's like the pile of shells.
Mm-hmm. Get to see the fruits of your labor.
Mm-hmm. And then you think, oh man, I ate a lot of those.
All right, we got Chris Deering coming up. I'm gonna have to drink some more.
What's what we're gonna do for that?
Phenomenal radio this morning.
Mm-hmm. One of you two could step in and take us to break right now.
No, we're just gonna let this one ride out.
It's actually just kind of fun to hear you kind of in a. And I got a little.
That one didn't have a seed in it.
Uh-huh.
Worked a lot of work in there for one that didn't have a seed in it. All right, let's get to a break. We'll come back. Chris Deering will join us. Bow Tires, high school highlights of the week. A lot to get to. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the Early Game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 1075 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Can't do the AAA spot because I was... Sorry. Very professional radio here. We're trying to eat sunflower seeds on air, and Rooster P weighs in and says, "Thanks. Now I'm craving some sunflower seeds." Yeah, that's what we do. We we'll make you happy each and every morning. Hopefully, let me tell you about AAA Heating and Air. Good friends of mine. They have taken care of me and my family. Installed that brand new heating and air unit at the Gunner household recently, and I'm telling you what, Columbia, known for being famously hot. That was one of the reasons I wanted to go ahead and upgrade the heating and air unit at the household to be ready for the summertime. I don't have to worry about anything, because one thing that comes along with a brand new heating and air unit from AAA Heating and Air, a 15-year parts and labor warranty. That's right. Not only do they come in and do a great job with installation, highly trained technicians knew exactly what they're doing, even explained to me how it would save energy costs. But when they're done, I can feel comfortable knowing that if something goes wrong, if something were to happen, they would be out there the next day getting it fixed with that 15-year parts and labor warranty. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. Take advantage of the great deals they have going on. You can get guaranteed financing, good credit, bad credit, whatever. AAA Heating and Air has got you taken care of. They guarantee financing, and they offer you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old heating and air unit. Contact AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. Call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Only twice has a Masters golfer overcome a double bogey to shoot a round of 65. Now, John Rahm did that yesterday, and back in 2009, Anthony Kim accomplished that feat by holding a Masters single-round record 11 birdies. What an amazing round that was. Then only 23, Kim was hyped as the next Tiger. Then, 3 years later, he mysteriously abandoned golf. Crazy story. I'm Boomer Esiason.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 1201 Main Street, Suite 840, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need to travel, from passport photos to luggage, and now get 20% off your in-store purchase when you buy any travel service. Plus 80-count Lysol wipes are just $1.99. In-store only. Offer ends 4/8. Exclusions apply. Get all set to jet at Staples.
Let's text entitled with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. JT means Jeeps and trucks. The biggest Jeep and truck selection in South Carolina is at JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. Get your new 2023 Jeep Wrangler now. Save $5,000 off. Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Compass, Wagoneer. New Jeeps up to $7,500 off. New Rams up to $11,000 off. Shaky credit, don't sweat it. JT says you're approved. JT means Jeeps and trucks. 378 Lexington. JT'sJeepRam.com. Jeep Celebration Event.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help.
David, I missed those two, right?
McDowell, CEO and founder of
The
Wesley Financial Group.
the wandering around the lake with the computer was always a lot of fun.
And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit.
After Deering here.
919-1441. 800-919-1441.
800-919-1441.
He's a high school guy, man. I feel like you
South Carolina weather can be a little crazy. Make sure your biggest investment is protected. Call the guys in the powder blue trucks, the Guttermen. They've been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 40 years. Call the Guttermen today at 791-7147. That's 791-7147.
Wrestling fans, feel the podcast feeds. Whoa! Join Hall of Fame wrestlers every week sharing their stories from the past. Hey, this is Kevin Nash. I'm in the ring in my mind saying, that's Hulk Hogan. Like Hogan's with us. And insight from what's happening now. Straight business with Eric Bischoff. We're breaking down the business of the wrestling business through fire. Like Wally J. St. Roberts, Cool JR, and more. Get into the WrestleMania spirit. Just search Podcast Heat wherever you listen.
Get the right care at the right place. Visit Lexington Medical Center's convenient urgent care centers for minor illnesses and injuries, and use our emergency room for emergencies. Go to lexmed.com/care now to know where to go for the care you need now.
1075 The Game Traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey, my friends, a good morning and happy Friday. It's time for a First Alert Traffic Update. Not too much to update you on for the humble beginnings of this Friday as we see it around the region. Interstates, main roadways, no big problems or slowdowns or confirmed collisions. Hope to see that as we continue on getting further into this morning. Be safe on those travels. Luckily, anything with rain shower activity holds off until a little bit later today. Of course, still need to be mindful if you will be out later on this day. But please be listening along. We'll keep you posted on any changes. This has been a First Alert Traffic Update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Questions not on the live stream. We didn't
from
see.
the Herndon Chevrolet
but
Studios.
This
is 107.
That's the hot take that I've got to get back to here in a minute. David has got the hot. David has my hot take that I've got to get back to.
Online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Game
with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Chew on this hot take real quick because this is instantly David on our live stream says what I was going to tell you. I was waiting to come back on air, and we'll get to Chris Deering here in just a second. Once you start with sunflower seeds, you can't stop.
Absolutely.
That's the odd thing. Like I haven't had, obviously I don't eat breakfast before I come in.
He's right back.
And I ate pizza last night watching the game and hanging out and everything. So I ate, I'm not starving, but like I've got this small pile of sunflower seeds in front of me, and you're right. Like I've already during the break I put another handful in, and if we weren't doing a radio show right now where I had to talk, I would have another handful. That is one of the things. I don't know what's in these things where you can't stop.
It's everything combined. It's obviously it's the salt, but then it's the, you get to hear that crack in your ear, and it's like
it's a lot of work. Also, it's a lot of work for a very minimal.
So that was the question that we had on Twitter, and they were saying, is that part of the joy of eating sunflower seeds? Is it the work, or would you just like to eat pre-shelled sunflower seeds? And
which I used to like. I'd go out early in the morning and like cut corn out of beans, and so my dad had a jar of like once the sunflower seeds have been shelled, and those are pretty good too,
Yeah.
So you didn't have to work as hard. I was working hard enough, but those are pretty tasty too. But there's something, especially when they're seasoning the shells, then it's like it's a bonus.
Yeah, and the shout out to Mac. Shout out to Mac on Twitter. He said like boiled peanuts, or even if we're gonna get fancy, edamame,
pistachios.
Oh,
again, pistachios the same thing. I like the
I-
pistachio, but I really like eating pistachios.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I
Mhm.
really enjoy. It's like I like the pistachio nut. That's cool, but I love eating
Yeah.
Because
pistachio.
there's a payoff.
Of
There's-
course,
Mhm.
there's a payoff.
Healthy too. Let's get out to the Love
Well,
Chevy.
to a point. Once you eat the bag, it's like it's not healthy anymore.
Yeah. Chris Deering, covering high school sports. Preston and I agreed. You've had to have a few sunflower seeds in your time. Are you an avid sunflower seed eater?
I would not classify myself as a avid sunflower seed eater. I do like a sunflower seed. Don't get me wrong, but you did hit on a very good topic. It's a lot of work for a little bit of payoff. I take mine pre-shelled any day of the week. I'll promise you that.
I think we're finished with Chris's segment here since he's not on board with us. So it's been good talking to you, Chris.
Yeah, all right. There's a lot happening, and we'll get to it all next week. Good segment. All right. Yeah. All right. This Chris has brought up a thing now: pre-shelled versus shelled. We will dive into this rabbit hole later on. But Chris, let's get to a few things. It's spring, which is soccer and baseball and all kinds of other sports, great sports going on across the landscape of high school. But we've got some football news, and it seems to be never ending. We got some new coaches here in town, and one school still searching.
Yeah, that's true, Bill. Two schools made a hire this week for their vacant head football coaching positions. Blythewood actually stayed within the coaching staff and promoted defensive coordinator James Martin to the head job, replacing Jason Seidel, who's been there the last 5 years at Blythewood. Martin's been on the staff a couple of years. His defense last year was really good. Only gave up a little over 12 points a game. This is his third head coaching position. He was at Northwestern here in South Carolina just for 2 years in 2017, 2018. And then he coached previously in the 2000s in North Carolina. But been in South Carolina for a while. First head coaching position here in Columbia. Don't know James Martin very well. I mean, I've seen him on the sideline, talked to him a couple of times, but nothing. I don't know him as well as a lot of the other coaches in the area. So taking over a program that won 10 ball games last year. They got a lot of kids coming back. I like their quarterback. Harrison Collins is really good. They got a defensive end that I think had 25 sacks last year, Edwin Robinson. So he's got some pieces to build around. So be interesting to see what he does with Blythewood. And then Columbia High picked Steve Roberson as their coach. He's been in North Carolina the past 3 years, but he previously coached here in the Columbia area at C.A. Johnson. Took that C.A. Johnson team his last year there in 2019. They won 4 games, and it's been a long time since that program won that many games. Scotty Dean's at C.A. Johnson now, and he's actually winning 7, 8, 9 games a year with that program. But, Steve Roberson's been around for some time. Great guy. I remember him at C.A. Johnson the last time he was here. So he's taken over a Columbia High program that only won 2 ball games last year and gets a chance to get that program, back turned in the right direction. I remember in the early 2000s, Charlie Macaluso was there, and they were going deep into the playoffs at Columbia High, but have fallen off here in recent years. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with that program.
Airport, you mentioned them kind of still looking. Just kind of follow up on that real quick. I don't know if you can name any candidates that are out there, or if you've got just kind of some where we could be heading with that.
Well, they should be starting to do interviews next week, I believe, Bill. So I think probably maybe late next week, early the following week, we'll have a head coach at Airport. Spring ball is getting ready to start here.
Yeah.
In just a few weeks, about 3 weeks, they'll be going into spring football, and definitely want to have a coach in place by then. So I expect to hear something on the Airport job, like I say, either late next week or early the following week. But they definitely got to get something. They will start doing interviews next week. So I fully expect that to be filled pretty soon.
He's Chris Deering joining us as he does each and every week here on Friday to do the Bow Tires High School highlights of the week. And there's a lot of coaching news here that we get to. We just mentioned the football news. Now let's step over to the women's basketball coach at Dutch Fork. Faye Norris has done a really good job. She is calling it a career.
Yes, Faye Norris has been around for quite some time, Bill. 30 years she's been in the coaching profession. Been at Dutch Fork since 2008. Won 3 straight state championships during one stretch with the Silver Foxes when they had Elena Coates playing out there. Faye Norris is one of the, I always had to call some coaches just, solid, good people in the business, and always got along with Coach Norris at Dutch Fork. Talked to her, just sat down and talked to her on the bench before, and she gets it, and I hate to see her retire, but I understand, after 30 years, it might be time to hang up the whistle. She was actually still living over in the Aiken area and traveling to Dutch Fork every day. So, I would imagine after 2008 to 2023, 15 years, that's a long time to make that trip that far. So, and I get it. It's time to move on, and she's ready to move on. She previously coached at North Augusta, so she's had 2 really good runs at 2 really powerful basketball schools here in the state, in Dutch Fork and North Augusta. So hate to see her step away, but Dutch Fork is, that's a pretty high profile program. Coach Tom Knox he'll be part of the search, I'm sure. To get a replacement, and I'm sure there will be plenty of applicants for that position at Dutch Fork.
Again, Chris Deering joining us this morning. One other coaching note to kind of brag about: Phil Savitz over at Irmo. I think Phil's been around. I think he created the Irmo program there. He's 800th career win for a legendary coach, not just in soccer but in the state of South Carolina.
Well, you got to get up with the times, Bill. He's at River Bluff now.
Thank you. Yes. It would have been handy. I actually knew that. I knew that. And I was dating back. I was thinking of when he was at Irmo when I was at Lexington. I didn't play soccer, but he was a legend then. And so I was thinking of that. But you're exactly right. I didn't even transition him over to River Bluff when he went over there. I'd say thank you for that.
Yeah. Now, Phil Savitz has been, I remember the first time I ever talked to him, and it was during that run. And I think he won 13 or 14 state titles at Irmo. From the 80s until the early 2000s, and got to talk to him, during that run. And man, he was turning out powerhouse program after powerhouse program. And you mentioned the 800 win. He got that last Friday night against Lexington in the 2-1 victory over the Wildcats. And there's only been, according to the National Federation of High School record books, he's the 5th coach to win 800 soccer matches. And so, to put that in perspective, I mean, that's just incredible. He's been doing it 44 years. You said, you're right, he might have started that soccer program at Irmo way back in I think he started in 1980 was his first year coaching. And he's just done it. He's done it at a high level. He's won a state championship since he's been over at River Bluff. He won one in 2016. And, historically, they're one of the top programs in the state. I know here in the last couple of years they haven't been able to beat Wando. That's been there. They couldn't get past the Warriors, Wando's got a powerhouse program down from the Mount Pleasant area, but he's there. He's in the mix every year to win a state championship, and just an incredible run, and just to watch his success. And I mean, to be honest, I don't think he's stepping away anytime soon. I think he's still got a passion for coaching. He's got a passion for soccer, and I expect Coach Savitz to coach. We might get him another decade, if not longer. That's what I expect out of him. So he's a really good guy. I love talking to him, and just a great honor for him to get that 800th win last week.
A couple spring break tournaments going on. Let's get to these. Baseball has the Forest Acres Classic that starts Monday. The South Carolina Diamond Invitational starts on Wednesday, if you've got some information on that.
Yep, so Forest Acres Classic, we're getting started this week for baseball. They play Monday through Thursday over at AC Flora. Anthony Hallett puts this tournament on every year, and just runs it, the right way. Does a great job. They got 8 teams here coming to compete in it. 6 of the 8 teams are local, so you get to see a lot of the local teams in this tournament. If you're a baseball fan, in one bracket you got Dutch Fork, Flora, Hammond, and Dreher, and that, I'm gonna tell you, that's gonna be a competitive. They play a round robin and then the championship game on Thursday against the other bracket, and one will play 1, 2 will play 2, and so on. But that's a very really competitive bracket, and should be some interesting matchups in that local one. And then the other side, you got Airport and River Bluff, and they'll be joined by the Miller School out of Virginia. And for baseball fans out there, we'll remember the name Billy Wagner, closer for the Astros for a number of years. He's actually the coach at Miller School, and I think they come to the Forest Acres Classic every single year. I've been able to talk to Coach Wagner, and again, that guy played in the majors leagues for as long as he did. You would never know it by having a conversation with him. So he's bringing his school back down here, and they always are very competitive. And then St. John's out of Maryland is the other school in that side of the bracket. I don't know much about them. Don't know if they've ever been to the Forest Acres Classic, if my memory's correct, but that should be some more competitive games. We've talked about River Bluff and what they bring to the table, and Airport for a Class 4A program. Airport they're in the top 10, and they have a lot of talent over there as well. So looking forward to that tournament. Should get over there a couple of days next week, and then like I say, you transition into the South Carolina Diamond Invitational or Blythewood. That runs Wednesday through Saturday, and the brackets there, again, you got some local teams and you got some teams that's ranked in the top 10 outside of the Columbia area coming in. So that should be good. You got, and one side of that bracket, you got Blythewood, Chapin, Dorman, and Boiling Springs. That's 4 really good, solid programs. And then the other side might be the heavyweight side of this bracket. You got Berkeley, Lexington, Oceanside Collegiate, and TL Hanna. Oceanside is number 1 in 2A. A lot of people compare them to, they got about 6, 7, 8 guys committed to Power 5 schools. They got a lot of talent on that Oceanside team. Lexington's really good. We've talked about them this year. And then Berkeley's the defending 5A state champion and are 15-1 on the season. So they're bringing a lot to the table too. So looking forward to that tournament as well. Can't wait to get out to both sites to see some games this week, and it'd be really interesting to see who wins these things. And I know Preston can tell you like to win these type of tournaments, but this is really about getting better for the postseason, because I will start here in about 3 weeks, and you got to be ready to go. This is an outer region thing. You get to see other people for a change and the people right there in your region. And again, you want to win these games, but more importantly, you want to see where your team fits in a statewide picture, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, for sure. The best part about these tournaments is you kind of just sit around and you watch the game before you. You see some people that maybe you've never seen before, or some players or coaches, and you get acquainted with folks that you are hopefully going to see later on in the playoffs, especially when you're talking about those big boy brackets. And I don't want to bog down the conversation, but I know, Chris, you're a Berkeley guy. Berkeley being so good at baseball right now, what facilitated this change? Because they haven't traditionally been a baseball powerhouse.
Yeah, you're right about that, and I'll tell you, Landy Cox is the coach at Berkeley,
okay.
And I think you got to give him the credit. It starts with him. I will tell you, I did play there, and the feeder program that he's got coming up now is a lot better than when I played, and a lot better than I've seen it in a number of years. He does a great job. I mean, Landy is very intense. He gets after it. He's a Stratford guy. He went to Stratford and graduated from there in the 90s. And he's in the Berkeley job now, I think right at 20 years. And so it took him a long time. Talking to him last year when they won the state championship, he always envisioned his program getting here. And now that they won it, he said it might be harder to stay here than it was to get here. So I told somebody this week too, excuse me, they won a bunch of close games here recently. And they're still battling a couple of injuries. I know their catcher is out, and he's sort of the glue that holds that team together. He might get back this week, but and Preston, you can definitely relate to this. They might be winning some games right now because of the name on the front of their jersey.
Absolutely, I get that.
Team see Berkeley, and they have that respect now. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they got some guys. Their top pitcher is Miller McGuire, and he's going to Newberry, and I think Newberry's getting a steal in that situation. And he just competes, and even when he does not have his best stuff, he competes, and it's really good. But I think a lot of teams right now they see Berkeley on the front of the jersey, and it makes a difference, man. I know back in the day when we saw Somerville on the front of the jersey, it made a difference. That's the team you wanted to beat, and sometimes you couldn't beat them because of that name on the front of the jersey.
Chris, we appreciate it. A lot going on as we wrap up. We head to April. We wrap up the spring sports season. Tournaments going on. Playoffs will not be far away. A lot for us to continue to cover. And before you know it, it'll be time for football season again. So appreciate you always taking time on a Friday to join us.
Yep, I appreciate you guys. Have a great Easter weekend. And, yeah, a lot going on next week. And I'm even trying to get down to the Heritage for one day. So I don't know how I'm going to make everything work next week, but I'll figure it out by then.
Well, we will be glad to have you, as we do each and every week, to discuss what's going on. Have a great Easter weekend. I look forward to catching up next week.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Appreciate it.
Take care. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in this morning. We'll come back. We'll get back into some Masters discussion, some sunflower seed discussion.
I'm looking at the pile grow.
It's not. I hadn't added more. It's you're watching it diminish slowly. But yeah, it's sunflower seeds and coffee, the breakfast of champions. It's breakfast of champions. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home, or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Plus text and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. We've got nearly 200 new Kias fresh off the truck and nowhere to put them. This looks like a job for Captain Save Man. Nearly 200 brand spanking new Kias from $18,990. Or drive away in your new Kia Sorento for just $239 a month. Is your credit in need of rescue? JT the Credit Crusader will fight for you. Captain Save Man and JT the Credit Crusader. What a dynamic duo. At JT's Kia, Killian Commons Parkway. JT'sKia.com.
Experience the future of connectivity with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering the fastest speeds in the nation for $49.99 a month. Advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security, free for 12 months. And a Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G, free for 12 months. That's Spectrum One. Visit Spectrum.com or your local Spectrum store today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Shop Griffin Pools and Spas on Wednesday and Thursday, April 12th and 13th for their greatest sale of the season. All retail items in the store are 10% off. Big Green Egg grills, Yeti coolers and accessories, and all BioGuard pool chemicals. The 3-step program to a sparkling blue pool. We bleed blue with BioGuard. All on sale Wednesday and Thursday at Griffin Pools and Spas. It's the spring special sale with extended store hours. Open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Griffin Pools and Spas. We make you feel good.
You can pick out every detail of your remodel.
That one. Or that one?
That one. No, wait, that one. But you never really know what it will look like until...
Well...
not what I imagined. CHW Cabinetry understands. Not being able to visualize what your new space will look like can be stressful, but our photorealistic renderings leave nothing to the imagination, and our job site book makes sure everyone's on the same page. Literally, learn more at chwcabinetry.com. CHW Cabinetry. Passion from inspiration to installation.
This is Monster Jam! Get ready for massive stunts, all-out racing, and crazy skills. Monster Jam. As big as it gets. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your $20 pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. It's full throttle family fun. Coming to Colonial Life Arena April 22nd and 23rd.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And it does look like we have a slowdown 262 at Veterans Road. So basically Highway 262 at I-77. We have a report of an accident there. And also looking at a bit of a slowdown. Shop Road at Pineview Drive. There's appears to be an object in the roadway. And something that could be slowing down traffic. I-26 westbound at St. Andrews Road. Scattered showers today coming in later this afternoon. 76 for the high. And then, you know, of course, it's going to be a balmy 49 tomorrow with the chilly rain. And then a stray morning shower on Sunday. 60 for the high. Right now, though, not too shabby. 67 at 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
$7:45 coming in back into the early game. If you've noticed, Bill's trying to get himself right. The sunflower seeds are taking their toll. He's trying to get the moisture levels measured in his throat. And maybe we've decided that maybe sunflower seeds are not the best thing to eat when you have to go and speak for a living. But Bill's back. He's got some water. He's ready to go.
So where do people eat sunflower? Like, where do you snack on it? Because that's what I kind of go back to. Like, you could go out, I guess. It's also just like messy, like you're having to spit. And so if like
it's a lot.
I'm trying to figure out where this, in a baseball field, it feels acceptable. We're watching the Masters right now, or we've got it on where they're showing us people warming up, teeing off. Brooks Koepka will tee off here in just a little while. Phil Mickelson on the range now, watching the Golf Channel. It feels like if I was doing, this is what I continue to describe. This might be the best way. People always they ask like, or they'll talk about the Heritage next week and the Masters this week. And I always say like, well, if you sneeze at the Masters, you feel like you might be escorted out. The better analogy might be if you spit sunflower seeds on the ground at the Masters, you get kicked out. Like you get thrown out of the gate. They throw you right out of the gate without any questions asked. They see you spit one sunflower at the Heritage. Nobody cares.
Okay.
Like it's a completely fine, whatever. That's like the least of the worst things you're doing.
That makes sense. I can understand that. So I definitely would probably want to do the Heritage first, and then maybe, tamper down and come back to the Masters, I guess, because if I'm outside, I want to be able to enjoy the outdoors and stuff.
See, David weighs in on our live stream and says he snacks on sunflower seeds while he's driving. Again, I feel like that's a dangerous thing because one loose seed gets down the throat and you start choking and you're going down the interstate.
There actually was a report the other day of some woman who was using a throat lozenge and kind of choked on it and pulled off to the side and stuff like that. So
Tough situation.
that is a scary
situation.
thing.
I mean, I feel like
that's what I'm saying. I got them out my car, and that's when I usually do have them if I'm making a trip or if because I'm a fidgety type of person anyway. So I bite my nails, which is something I'm very much ashamed of. Being a 41-year-old person who bites his nails is disgusting. But when I'm trying to quit that, sunflower seeds sort of stand in lieu of that. So it just so happened that this whole conversation happened when I had a bag.
Okay.
That's cool. Now,
Yeah.
when you talked about the Masters, one thing I'm just envisioning is, can you see sunflower seeds speckled about those pristine grounds? Like
That's what I'm
people would
saying, yeah.
just lose their minds.
I feel like if one of them saw you at the Masters, like spitting a sunflower seed out, they would just grab you by the back of your pants
or your ear
and your collar, and they literally just pick you up and heave you out the front of the north gate.
Also, for me, it was good when I was coaching, so you kind of have like a nervous energy going, so you're pacing around, and you can kind of have some sunflower seeds, or maybe if you're watching your child play a sport and you're a little bit uptight, it kind of just help you work through the emotions a little bit.
I still there's a but you were spitting them on the ground too. That's the other thing. Occasionally
the groundskeeper did not love it.
I mean, again, baseball, I get it. Just feels natural. It feels right.
Okay, but now you'll spit them on the ground. How many women spit them on the ground, or do we put them into something else? I'm one that I would
a vessel.
Something.
Well,
a cup or something.
How many women snack on sunflower seeds because it doesn't feel like you said. There's a lot of spitting involved. I'm not sure I've ever seen in 40 years of living a woman spit.
That's
like bubble gum or a sunflower seed or
No, it's not. No.
That's why I asked.
Well,
It doesn't
The only time I can ever remember spitting is when I was doing something out, like literally out on the farm, and like a bug flew in my mouth. So then I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm an effective. And this is great breakfast conversation,
for
but
sure.
I don't think I'm a qualified spitter.
Shout out to my great grandmother, May, who was an avid preferred fan of the Chew.
Okay. Then she was probably pretty talented with the.
Oh,
yeah. They don't make women like that anymore. But
right.
She was
bless her.
She was a fan of the Chew for sure.
Coming up in about we'll get off of this topic. We've gone down a path. We are way down the rabbit hole. Coming up. Jamie Bradford will put us back on track with baseball. We'll get into some Masters, get you a little update from there. They're teeing off earlier this morning to get out ahead of the weather. We'll get you updated on that. And just for the record, I know what I just said too. By the way, I said something a minute ago that I was like, oh, that's
all the 17-year-olds and all of us just
yeah. Oops. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Now that you've taken on the big job doesn't mean you have to settle for big box. Northern Tool can help with the little things that make the biggest difference, from pressure washers to power tools and pallet jacks to push carts. They have what you need to get the job done. Northern Tool and Equipment, we're made for this.
Life matters. Jack was a confirmed bachelor for over 50 years. Content with his successful career, he had simply made no room for matrimony. Just when he thought his latter years would be as uneventful as the earlier ones, he discovered what he called joy by surprise. Joy was the name of the American woman he met, divorced with 2 small sons. Some thought he married her out of convenience, some said it was for pity, but Jack knew it was love. We feasted on love, he said, every mode of it, solemn and merry, romantic and realistic, sometimes as dramatic as a thunderstorm, sometimes comfortable and unemphatic as putting on favorite soft slippers. She was my pupil and my teacher, my subject and my sovereign, my friend, my shipmate, my fellow soldier, my lover, and my best friend. She died shortly after they married, but Jack, you know him as C.S. Lewis, author of the Chronicles of Narnia, remembered their time together as the best of his life. This is Stephen Chitty, pastor of Christian Life. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd rather
counts.
not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Join the McDaniels Automotive Group and the Lexington Medical Center Foundation on Saturday, April 22nd at the Pastides Alumni Center for the McDaniels Golf Classic Gala, featuring live and silent auctions, Southern Way catering, and live music by the Crystal Clear Band. Proceeds support programs and services at Lexington Medical Cancer Center, from diagnosis to survivorship. Purchase your tickets today at McDanielsGolfClassic.com.
At Kroger, we want our fresh produce to meet your expectations, which is why we're dedicated to doing up to a 27-point inspection on our fruits and veggies, checking for things like scarring. In fact, only the best produce like zesty oranges and crisp carrots reach our shelves, because when it comes to fresh, our higher standards mean fresher produce. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Now's a great time to save on Kroger Spiral Sliced Bone-In Ham. On sale for $1.99 a pound with your card and additional $25 purchase. Limit 2. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Get hot deals at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Buy one, get one 50% off Magellan Outdoors clothing. And get up to 25% off Adidas and Under Armour clothing. Shop great brands at the best prices. Deals end April 10th. Exclusions and restrictions apply. See academy.com/disclaimers for details.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
And just taking a look at some of the traffic conditions out there this morning. We do have a report. Oh, it just refreshed. Okay. So Highway 272 at I-77, a report of an accident there. Also, Highway 176. So basically Broad River Road at I-26. We have a report of a slowdown there. Shop Road at Pineview. They're saying there is an object on the roadway, so just be a little extra careful in that vicinity if you would. And that forecast for today, it is looking like rain. So we're going to be getting into through the morning and supposed to possibly be seeing some rain later on today. Scattered showers, 76 for the high. That chilly rain tomorrow, 49 for our high. Stray morning shower for your Easter Sunday, and 60 will be our high right now. 67 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Apologize, very short segment here, and then we'll come back, start the 8 o'clock hour with Jamie Bradford to talk some Carolina baseball. Again, reminder, if you did not hear last night, doubleheader today, noon and 4 o'clock. And one of the things we'll get into with Jamie coming up in about 5 minutes is how do you play the first game? I mean, do you go all in? Is it all, basically all arms on deck, so to speak, from a pitching standpoint? Doubleheaders are a long day of baseball to begin with. Do you remember playing some in your high school days?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you remember what it was like?
That's a staple. It's a grind, and especially if you're playing 9-inning doubleheaders as opposed to 7. So I mean, that's a grind.
I wonder. Austin, my son doesn't play baseball. I wonder if kids are more adept at playing a doubleheader today because you have these baseball tournaments.
Good point.
These kids, like growing up, when we were growing up, and I didn't play high school baseball. I stopped at I think 14, Pony League or whatever. I don't necessarily remember playing 2 games in a day. So, the travel ball back in 94, 95, 96, in that era, it was non-existent. You played AAU basketball, travel ball, but not baseball. I do wonder if kids are a little more, if they can handle it a little bit more, because they're used to being at the ball field all day long growing up, playing on some of these travel ball teams. But we'll ask Jamie, because at least right now, Preston, you look outside. I walked outside. I'm kind of looking through it. Doesn't look all that bad outside right now, but we know what's coming down here at about 1 or 2 o'clock. 1 o'clock, according to my Weather Channel app, it's the mini lightning. At 2 o'clock, it's the heavy lightning.
Big lightning.
So we'll catch up with Jamie Bradford. Big thank you again to Chris Deering. A lot of information from the high school season that's going on right now and some of the tournaments. So we ran a little long there, but we will get caught up in the next hour. We got our week in review that Jen has been working on. Very excited about. Jamie Bradford due up, get you a Masters update. So much to do, so little time to do it, but we'll try. Hour 3 on the way.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Text entitled with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. JT means Jeeps and trucks. The biggest Jeep and truck selection in South Carolina is at JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. Get your new 2023 Jeep Wrangler now. Save $5,000 off. Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Compass, Wagoneer. New Jeeps up to $7,500 off. New Rams up to $11,000 off. Shaky credit, don't sweat it. JT says you're approved. JT means Jeeps and trucks. 378 Lexington. JT'sJeepRam.com. Jeep Celebration.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd rather
counts.
not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgefield. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
Spring just around the corner. You want to make sure that pool out back is looking beautiful and ready to be used. Contact Corley Pool Solutions today. How about this? They are less expensive than actually using the pool store. That's right. Tracy Corley and his team are ready to help you today. Give them a phone call, 803-445-8109. They'll maintain your pool. Make sure that pool looks absolutely fabulous. So call them today, 803-445-8109.
Shop Griffin Pools and Spas on Wednesday and Thursday, April 12th and 13th for their greatest sale of the season. All retail items in the store are 10% off. Big Green Egg grills, Yeti coolers and accessories, and all BioGuard pool chemicals. The 3-step program to a sparkling blue pool. We bleed blue with BioGuard. All on sale Wednesday and Thursday at Griffin Pools and Spas. It's the spring special sale with extended store hours. Open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Griffin Pools and Spas. We make you feel good.
One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. Hint, the name begins with a G. And there are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that engine. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find yourself on page 7. But at Cumulus Boost, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your findability so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the power of Love Chevrolet. While the other dealers are scrambling for slick new catchphrases, we're doubling down on who we are and what we do. Honesty, transparency, and utmost integrity. Love Chevy. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
With Bill Gunter.
Age is now, and I'm 40. It's not like I'm 80. It's catching up to me, and this pollen has finally affected me to the point that I was driving up to Bay Street. I don't know if I can talk for 3 hours. This is the first time I've ever been sick
That
before.
hallelujah chorus.
You say hallelujah, you get the last 2 hours. I'm fine with that.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
It is the big game, man. It's the big day. You got to gut through this one. I got faith in you.
And Jen Jensen.
He'll just whine through half of it. So that's how it's going to work.
On your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Final hour of the week. Hope you're having a great Friday morning. Good Friday. Hope you are up and enjoying the day. Ready for Easter weekend. The Easter Bunny coming to town. LSU leaving town. And today we'll see how they leave town. And more importantly, we'll see how they leave town potentially after just one game. That's what we're going to talk about. Jamie Bradford due up here in just a second as we get you going on what should be a fun day. Again, a reminder, if you're just tuning in, if you didn't catch the news yesterday afternoon or last night, South Carolina and LSU will have a doubleheader today. It'll get going at noon over at Founders Park, and then the second game set for 4 o'clock last night. The Gamecocks rolled 13-5. You had a rain delay there, a weather delay, I should say, in the third inning that knocked out both starting pitchers, but it was Ethan Petrie, Jamie Bradford. It was Ethan Petrie with a big night, 2 home runs and 8 RBIs in a, I don't know. That might be a game, Preston. I'll ask you, Jamie. You know, you have games during the season that are kind of seminal moments. They're the big. It was Jamie. I'll start with you. Was last night kind of that moment for South Carolina?
Well. First of all, it's about time. It only took you 31 games to get his name right.
I think it's only the second time I've said his name.
In 31 games, he's the best player on the team. Where have you been for the last 3 months?
We've been debating sunflower seeds if you haven't been listening this morning and maybe me choking on one.
Yeah. No, I'm just picking with you, man. That's probably more for the fans. I mean, I think that this team's had a lot of those already, Bill. They're ready. They were ready for that game last night. I mean, they had some in the Clemson series. They had a big one on the road at Georgia when Braswell comes in after you're down and knocks the ball down the line. They had one against Missouri. I mean, they've had a lot of those throughout the year, and so I don't think last night is necessarily that for the team, but for the fans, it might be, because there was, I think, a lot of people in wait and see mode. Oh, we'll find out what they look like when they get to LSU, and then they beat them last night. Now all of a sudden it's, oh, well, you know what? These guys might be pretty good. Yeah, they are pretty good. That means they're not going to lose games. They are, but they are pretty good too.
But maybe, but I get what you're saying. But Preston, there is something to beating a team that, again, I think it was John Whittle of thebigspur.com who had the article that said college baseball juggernaut, and the word I know juggernaut was used. LSU comes to town, and having played college ball, I don't know if there was a game in that 2000 or 2001 season where y'all won it and you went, oh yeah, we actually are. We are we just beat the number one team or whatever. We are legitimately really good.
Yeah, so the conversation might be had in the clubhouse or outside the clubhouse. Inside the clubhouse, they might be saying, we told y'all.
Yeah, okay.
We've been telling y'all. Now look and see who we are, because we believed it all this time. It's just for everybody else to believe it. So based on what Jamie's saying, based on the way they look when they're playing, they don't look as if this is a surprise. They look as if they feel like they're supposed to be here. So yeah, there could be some kind of like, hey, check us out. We are as good as anybody says we are.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, last night was the nation's chance.
Maybe that's it.
To see them. You know, I mentioned somebody yesterday, guys, and it started with Will Sanders, but really kind of rolled over into the entire team. But like, you can't ask for any more. I mean, you've done your part to this moment. Now you got the big dogs coming to town, right? LSU, which by the way, they were 6-3 in the league coming in, and Carolina was 8-1. For anybody that maybe had missed that part, but they had that number 1 next to their name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're coming to town, and everybody knows about Paul Skeens. This is probably the way that I see it in April, going to end up being the first time in baseball history where the top 2 picks in the draft came from the same program. Because I don't see any way that Paul Skeens doesn't go 1, and I don't see any way that Dylan Cruz doesn't go 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you've got all that going on. Well, what does that bring with it? It brings the media. It brings all the D1 guys. It brings the Baseball America guys. It brings the collegiate baseball guys. It brings all these guys that come out of wherever they come out of. What else does it bring? About 40 scouts that are just going to be sitting back there with radar guns and notebooks, and they're getting there early. Well, those scouts are coming to see Paul Skeens, right, and Dylan Cruz, right? Wrong. Yes and no. They're also coming to see South Carolina, because South Carolina's pretty good. And, you know, coming into the year, Will Sanders was a projected first rounder and a preseason second team All-American. So if you were like Will Sanders going into that game last night and then kind of piggybacking on that to the entire South Carolina program, what more can you ask for? If you're a competitor, the eyes of the college baseball world, at least, they're on your game. You know, I know that Tennessee and Florida were playing last night, and there's a couple other good ones, but everybody was watching this game. This was the game. 2 first-round draft picks going at each other. A kid gets a week off. The other kid's throwing 102. Carolina, is this a prove-it moment for them? LSU, is this a hey, we're actually going to prove that we're number 1? I mean, you can't ask for any more than that last night. We'll see how many they can get in today, how many innings they can get in today. But wow, what a night at Founders. That was awesome.
It's a good lead. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we will get Jamie's opinion. How do you play the first game today, and what does today look like again as we look out? Minimal wind, a little overcast, but looks nice. Looks like a great day for baseball. It's not going to be the way it is apparently around 1 or 2 o'clock. So Preston's got a great question to ask Jamie. How would Jamie play this first game, and what does it mean? We'll get to that when we come back. Jamie Bradford joining us, a special appearance after a angry text message at 6:30 this morning that prompted him to bring him on air. So we'll let Jamie break down how South Carolina should play today. We'll talk more about that. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jamie Bradford on a Friday, and Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better soon.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Hey, it's Preston here for Integrated Media, and I've been telling y'all this time to get ready for the spring and summer seasons, and we're finally here. I know it's going to rain this weekend. They're talking about it, but that does not mean that you cannot enjoy your Sonos outdoor speakers for TV and music, or your Samsung's Terrace TVs that can be waterproofed. You can get Wi-Fi that works indoors and outdoors. So even though it may be raining, you can still be having fun with your entertainment center. You can control all your devices from just one remote. Home theater setup, adjusting your thermostat, monitoring your security systems. All of this you can handle from your cell phone with the help of the guys from Integrated Media. So call Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. That's Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. Or you can reach them online at integratedmediainc.com, online at integratedmediainc.com.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. Minnesota icon Bud Grant, who coached the Vikings for 18 seasons, died last month at the age of 95. He may have received the ultimate tribute. The AAA St. Paul Saints named their mascot pig after him. The ball pig is called Mud Grant, naturally. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save on the brands you trust. Right now, buy a select DeWalt 12-volt bare tool starting at $119 and get a DeWalt 12-volt 2-pack battery free valued at $129. Plus, you'll always save big on job lot quantities when buying select building supplies in bulk. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities. Discount taken at time of purchase. Battery and charger not included with buy items. Valid for buy 3.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Shop SpringFest at Lowe's today and save big on select major appliances. Get an additional $100 off select laundry pairs when you spend $1,296 or more. Valid through 4/12. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit CantyCanFixIt.com. Canty can fix it.
If it's round, rubber, and roll, Rose got it. If it's round, rubber, and roll, Rose got it.
Hey folks, Cameron Bo Williamson here with Bow Tire and Oil, now open next to the Publix at Hendricks Crossing in Lexington. We are family owned and operated, serving the Midlands for over 30 years. Come check us out or give us a call at 803-520-4444.
If it's round, rubber, and roll, Bow Tire's got it.
You're invited to Easter at Northside Baptist Church, where your family will enjoy an amazing morning of worship as we gather to celebrate Jesus' victory over sin and death. Let this Easter be the time you reconnect with God and the blessings He has for you. Join us at our Lexington campus at 8 a.m., 9:30 a.m., or 11 a.m., or at our West Columbia campus at 10 a.m. Come celebrate Easter at Northside Baptist Church.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Still working an earlier tie-up, Broad River Road at I-26, so that could be slowing things down a little bit. Still also working Highway 262 at I-77. That earlier accident still in the works, so hopefully that'll get cleaned up soon and won't be impacting traffic too much today. And unfortunately, the weather probably will be. Looking for some scattered showers starting later on this afternoon. 76 will be our high. That chilly rain tomorrow, a high of 49. And a stray shower in the morning on Sunday. Looking for a high of 60 right now. It's overcast, but not bad. 67 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
.816 on your Friday morning. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, and a special appearance by Jamie Bradford here on a Friday. If you have not heard, if you weren't paying attention last night, let's get you updated real quick. South Carolina and LSU will play a doubleheader today. It'll begin at noon at Founders Park. The second game scheduled an hour after the first one ends. For those wondering, here's the ticket information. Ticket holders who have tickets to today's game that was scheduled for 7 p.m. tonight. Your tickets, you'll have your reserve tickets. You'll be able to sit in those seats for the 12 p.m. game until the game concludes, and then you need to move to the corner pantry berm. Folks who have tickets, if you have tickets for tomorrow's game, the noon game, you will be able to sit in the seats that you have tickets for the 4 o'clock game. It does say that ticket holders who have Saturday, which would be tomorrow, Saturday, April 8th, Series Game 3 reserve tickets can come. You can go to the game at noon. So if you've got a ticket only for Saturday, one of the things they did do is they made it where you can come to both games today. You can't sit in your seats if you don't have them for the first game. You can move to them after the first game today. You can sit in them for what would be Game 3 if we can get it in. So just FYI on that, season parking pass holders can use their Game 2 or Game 3 parking pass for either game as part of today's doubleheader.
Jamie, what's up, Bubba? How you doing this morning?
How are you?
Great. All right, I have 2 questions. One, first and foremost, favorite sunflower seed flavor?
Ranch.
Okay, cool. So
that's the one I'm snacking on. Yeah.
This is the one Bill's current on. Bill has apparently got left behind by sunflower seed technology, and he just was not aware of the wonderful world of opportunities that are available to us. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing, how does Coach Kingston and staff approach this doubleheader, knowing that there's a possibility that they might not get Game 3 in?
You mean like from a pitching standpoint?
Yeah, just overall strategy kind of concept. Are they going? Do you go all out for it? And so how does that affect the team as far as substitutions, pitching, the way they manage the bullpen, all of that?
I mean, it's not really going to affect anything offensively. From a staff standpoint, it's about winning series. So, if you take, I mean, look, if you took 3 from LSU, obviously you're making a loud statement in college baseball. But it's about winning the series. That's goal number 1. And then you throw in the weather, and you just don't know what can happen in Game 3. So you're going to do everything it takes to win Game 2. Whatever's available, that's what you're going to see. With that said, let's say that it doesn't get off to a good start, and Jack Mahoney doesn't have a good day, and you look out in the 3rd or 4th inning, and it's 5-1, 5-0, something like that. A lead where you're going to have to scratch and claw to get back into it. Then you're probably going to be a little bit less willing to roll out whatever dimes you've got left in the bullpen, right? So you'll want to make sure that if you get to a Game 3 and you got a chance to win the series in Game 3, that you haven't totally depleted yourself by throwing a bunch of dudes who probably didn't need to pitch because you still had to score runs anyways just to even get caught up. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Well, hold on. But where we were going, I understand, but with this weather, I think that's a typical. If the weather was going to be perfect today and it was normal circumstances, I agree with you. But the problem we've got here is if you're looking at it, and I'm looking at a radar now, and this I see yellow and red and green, and it's all in Tennessee, but it's coming this way. I think that's kind of the question. If you know, and Mark Kingston talked about it a little bit about last night. You look at what's going to happen. I don't know how they get game 3 in. It's almost to the point of you're going to play game 2 here, Jamie. And I think that's our bigger question because, again, I'm just reading off the weather.com app. At 2 p.m., it's now a 50% chance of rain. 3 p.m., it goes to 66. 4 p.m., 78%. You get the point. It's going to rain this afternoon. I don't see how they finish game 3. So I think that's kind of where Preston and I are asking is, if you're Mark Kingston, you're looking at the weather forecast here. Is it basically an all hands on deck situation to win game 2 and win the series, knowing that likely game 3 is not going to be finished or played?
Well, I mean, of course it is. But again, you know, if you get off to a terrible start, you know, your pitchers can't score runs for you.
True.
So, like, your offense is going to have to show you something in order for you to just keep rolling out dime pieces and say, hey, look, you know, if you're scratching and clawing and you're within striking distance, I mean, you're not just going to toss some kid on the mound who has no business being out there in a situation like this. You know, I'm not really getting at it like that, but you know, yeah, I kind of stand by what I was saying. Like, you're going, yeah, all hands are on deck, but we're thinking about this from a leading the game perspective. That's the way we're looking at this. You got to remember, things change a little bit. If you're leading the game, if you're winning the game, if you're in the game, if it's close, 1 run, 2 run, you got the lead, you're you know, whatever it is. Yeah, dude, it doesn't matter about game 3. You win game 2, period, the end. And, you know, there's nothing that says that more than last night. They're up by 6 runs and Eli Jones comes trotting in. And I'm like, man, they're throwing Eli Jones. You know, if Noah Hall can't go this weekend, I would think that he might be starting. But that just goes to show you how much respect they have for LSU. So, like, you know, he's going to probably – I mean, it's a little tricky, but the general premise of this conversation is you're not going to hold anything back in game 2. You play game 2 for game 2 to win the series, number 1, and then you got the weather situation, number 2. Now, I will say this on the weather. All week long, this forecast has been rain from literally the get-go this morning all day. And now we've got a window at least until 2 o'clock, it looks like. So you just don't know. Do I think they're going to play 3 games at this point? I don't. But I wouldn't count them out, at least attempting to get it in. And remember something here. If you get through 5 innings, you can technically shut it down if the weather doesn't allow you to come back and finish it. And that's a complete game, guys.
Who makes that? I'm sorry, James. Sorry to cut you off. Who makes that decision? Is that a home team decision, umpire decision? Who makes that call?
The umpires they'll make the call. The staff, the facility will make the call, like the operations manager, as far as can we keep playing or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like as far as weather goes, things like that. So, I mean, you're not going to get home cooking where it's pouring down rain and there's lightning all over the place. And it's like, God, we played 4. We just got to get to 5. Yeah, but this guy might get struck by a lightning bolt. Whatever, man, we need to sweep. You know, like that's not going to happen. So I'm just saying, if you can get through game 2 and they can at least get game 3 started, you know, if you get through 5 and you can't go anymore this weekend, that's it. They can complete that game after 5 innings, and that's going to count.
So Preston brought this up earlier. We'll ask you if South Carolina wins game 2, you don't get game 3 in. It's 2. Is 2-0 a sweep or is it just a series victory? Yes.
It's both. It's a sweep. Yes, that's a sweep.
Okay.
A sweep is when the other team doesn't win any games. A series victory is when you win 2. You get both of those on your bingo card. Congratulations.
The rare double sweep and winning the series.
Yeah. Quick. I mean, look, like, Preston, we grew up playing double headers, right? Like when we were in high school and stuff like that. You know, you sweep a double header, don't you?
That's true. Good point.
Real quick, Jamie, 2 things. One, I want to go back to, I forget if I brought this up with you on air just a minute ago, if I brought it up at the top of last hour. Do you think kids, you just mentioned it, I don't remember, of course, in the 90s, I didn't play high school baseball. I stopped at Pony League right at that age where I went into middle school or whatever. Are kids, because of travel ball now, are these players that'll play today or anytime you have to do it, are they more acceptable? Are they more adept at being able to play a doubleheader because of the way you spend all day if you're a travel ball player at the ball field, as opposed to like when I grew up? I don't know if I ever played. I might have played a doubleheader. I might have. Again, talking the 90s, it was different. We didn't have travel ball. That's just a thought that I have when you talk about how taxing a doubleheader can be on a baseball player or a baseball team.
Yeah. They're okay with that. I mean, I think we make a bigger deal out of it than it really is. The biggest deal is really just being able to handle your pitching staff, and that's number one from a health standpoint. But number two, just being wise in how you use certain arms. You try to avoid getting into the next game and going, golly, I wish you didn't burn him. But the old Ray Tanner way of doing things was, you just worry about this game. We'll worry about the next one when we get there. And it kind of worked. I mean, they only won 40 games a year for 15 straight seasons or whatever it was. So, these kids are fine. They'll be okay. And hopefully they can get both of them in today. We'll see. But I want to say this too, and I know you got to get to a break, but I got to get this in. There's going to be a ton. We'll see what happens today. The whole thing can change. Everybody's excited right now, but they could lose today. It's baseball. It happens. The conversation is going to continue to be about the home runs. Last night they beat LSU. Don't let this get lost at all that Will Sanders was really special through 4 innings. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I'm glad
his stuff was good.
I wanted to get your assessment real quick on him last night after taking the week off. I'm glad you brought that up. The next question I was going to just ask you was your assessment of him, his mechanics last night, his ball placement, your take on him last night after that week off and the questions that were being asked about him.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, he looked good. I mean, I don't want this to be about me, but one of the things I've been saying about him all year long is he's got to get that changeup going. And everybody's like, yeah, it's fastball location, this, that, and the other. That's true, yes, but he's got to get his changeup going, and he had it going last night. Best I've seen it this year. And if it's working like that, everything works for him. And I mean, he was toe to toe with Paul Skeens. So hats off to him. It's a shame. I agree with King that the baseball gods called in the lightning delay and shut those guys down, because we all wanted to see what it would end up looking like. But they're both really good, and hats off to Will Sanders for his start last night. He stepped up and he brought it.
Jamie, I know you got some things you got to do. I know you were able to say we're going to hit a few other topics. We'll let you go. Appreciate your correction this morning in a text message, and I'm glad we could get you on for about 30 minutes this morning.
Yeah, well, I ordered a pizza last night, and I was like, I've been eating good, and you got boat season coming up, and I woke up this morning just like let the dogs out at 5:45. I said, I think I need to kind of work some of this off. So I went out for about 45 minutes around the neighborhood, and it's funny, you walk around the neighborhood, you figure out what time people wake up and what time people go to work, and I had a cat chase me. I mean, it's all good.
There you go. Well, glad we could get you on. We look forward to catching up with you. We'll recap it all, both the games today and the Masters this weekend. We'll recap it all on Monday, buddy.
Yeah, happy Good Friday to everybody, and I hope everybody has a blessed Easter weekend. Thanks, guys.
Hey, appreciate you.
You as well. 803-404-6100. We come back. We'll get some of this Masters update here as they're getting going down in Augusta. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got a take? Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
This weekend is really just about it. This will be the last weekend of winter and maybe even spring. It all starts to heat up from here, and that means coming home in the afternoon after a long day of work, and if you have your own personal pool in the backyard, being ready to hop in it, relax, float around, play with the kids, do whatever it is on the weekend that you love doing, grilling out. But if that pool's dirty, it's got leaves in it, still got pollen in it, it's a little green, it's time to contact the expert in the pool maintaining industry, Tracy Corley with Corley Pool Solutions. 803-445-8109. The best thing about Corley Pool Solutions is the man himself, the owner of the company, is coming to your house weekly to maintain your pool. So if there's any issues, and I've talked to him about this, The expert is there and knows how to get them fixed quickly. Tracy will inspect your pool equipment to make sure that it is operating properly. He'll also test, treat, and maintain with his team your pool at a flat rate cost, including all of the chemicals. So you don't have to go to the pool store and waste your time. You don't have to spend extra money on chemicals that may or may not work. You have an expert coming to your house each and every week, maintaining that pool so you get to enjoy it. Call him today, 803-445-8109. Against 803-445-8109. That's Corley Pool Solutions.
Plus, text and title with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. Buy a Ram and buy it at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. We have truckfuls and truckfuls of Rams. South Carolina's truck giant stays stocked. Up to $11,000 off on a new 2022 Bighorn Ram. Or take one for just $359 a month. Save $5,000 on new Durangos, Chargers, and Challengers. Credit concerns? Not with JT. The truck giant says yes, you can. It's Ram Truck Month at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. JT'sDodge.com.
If you have tax problems, it can affect all aspects of your life. Now's the time to do something about it. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. Everyone at our firm truly believes we can improve the lives of our clients by eliminating the stress and worry of IRS tax problems. We're a local South Carolina law firm dedicated to resolving your tax problems for good. Simply put, we solve tax problems. So if you're facing IRS tax liens, bank or wage levies, or have years of unfiled tax returns, come meet with us in person. Your first visit is free and confidential. We'll show you how we will solve your problem and how much it'll cost. So don't put it off any longer. Call us now at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to our website at irsproblemsolving.com. It is time to do something about that tax problem. Your solution is right here in South Carolina, so hire a South Carolina attorney. Hire me, John Ecton.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Can you imagine a rainbow of flowers?
In a crystal blue sky.
Filled with music.
And all your friends are there.
And everyone is laughing with joy.
And the whole world is clean and sparkling and singing like Pavarotti.
Put on your wings and fly.
Invite us to your house.
We'll only be there a few minutes.
Our clean and shiny trucks haul away your distractions.
And leave your home sparkling with joy.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And looking at the roadways out there, do have a report of a tie-up Shop Road at Pineview. Also still working an earlier accident, Broad River Road at I-26. 272 at I-77. Still could be a little bit of a slowdown there. Any forecast for today? Those scattered showers coming in later. 76 for the high. That chilly rain tomorrow. And we say chilly, we're not kidding. It's going to be only a high of 49. Getting it back up to 60 on Sunday with a stray morning shower. Right now, though, it is 68 at 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
You really just, if you put sunflower seeds in front of somebody, you just can't stop, can you? Like, it's just a natural, like going, you were literally starting the traffic report and the weather report. And I just popped two in my mouth, like just no problem whatsoever. Like I don't have to speak in this profession to do the job properly.
No, because, I mean, that's kind of been the standard
That's
that
true.
you set for about the past 6 years, 7.
True.
So
It is true. When you set a standard, you're allowed to, like this, everybody's like, oh, it actually sounds a little bit better this morning. He's staying on track. So,
But and then Preston's like, I'd really like to have my sunflower seeds back.
I'm looking at
well,
them.
they're right there. I've only taken
that's
some.
because of everything you just said. That's why I'm abstaining. I'm not going to do it until
After
we get
the
off
show.
the clock.
And then he's like, "Can I take these and go home before like I have an empty bag?"
I'm not. I mean, it's. Yeah, it's. But yeah, I can't say that I'm like thoroughly enjoying them. It's more of like they're in front of you. That's kind of the weirdest thing is they're there, and so like I'm just like, oh, okay, sure, I'll.
It's kind of like when you eat something spicy. It's like, oh, that one's gonna hurt, but I'm gonna have some more.
Go back for
You know,
more. Yeah.
absolutely, because there's still something that's intriguing and good, and yeah.
So if you'll bring maybe next Friday, because I don't feel like this is I feel like this is a celebration of the end of the week is to have something. So if you want next Friday, the dill pickle
Okay, I'll bring those
sunflower
in.
seeds.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll
I
make a
like
note
where
right now.
this is going.
I do too.
Just
There's
yeah.
enough flavors to get us through the
We can
summer
get
at
through
this
the end.
point.
Yep.
Mhm.
Apparently so. This is one thing I've learned this morning is that the big sunflower has really taken over the industry here, and they're just all kinds of. There's Old Bay flavoring. There's sizzling bacon, cracked pepper and salt. Takis flavor. Somebody hit us up with a Taco Bell flavor. I don't know how that works, but
Have you ever dipped Fritos in mild sauce from Taco Bell? Okay, just saying. That was a college thing.
your
so
culinary palate is wildly interesting.
there may have been other ways to consume beverages when that was done. I don't know, but it is kind of a tasty little flavor combination. Just saying.
Well, that's kind of like, have y'all ever done the Wendy's fries and the Frosty?
I have.
I have not. I've seen people do it, but I have not done that myself.
It turns out it's actually not
Terrible.
terrible. Yeah. Like I remember being astounded the first time I had a buddy growing up. I was young, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that, and did the marshmallows on peanut butter sandwich. Like they put the marshmallows on the peanut butter. And like I was like blown away. I was like that, and they're like, "Well, fine, you got to try one." And I was like, "Oh, it's not a
I
ridiculous."
would often have is like, all right, that wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah, like what was the one that you tried that you were like, "Oh, okay, all right."
Hot sauce on popcorn.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Very good. I didn't try it till one of my guys did it, and I was like, oh, okay. This is new.
Hot sauce on popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had a friend from the Bahamas that did that in college.
I could see that. I like hot sauce. I'm with you on that. All right. Well, that's nice. So there we go. We're expanding we've gone from the microwaving or the frying of bacon all the way down to sunflower seeds now. So we're really expanding our culinary discussions here on this show. 803-404-6100. Masters back underway this morning. Right now, it looks like the cut will be right around even. Now that's where we're at this morning. Things will obviously change here. If that were the case, Tiger Woods, Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia, Zach Johnson, a former Masters winner, would all be missing the cut. Live golfer Louis Oosthuizen also would not be making it. But the good news is that a lot of the names that you want to see on the weekend, at least going into today, are there. Your leaderboard, Preston, I don't know how the weekend's going to play out, but your leaderboard looks great. Brooks Koepka, he is back on the course now. John Rahm, Jason Day's a big name. Scotty Scheffler's there. Shane Lowry, Xander Schauffele, Adam Scott, Justin Rose, Colin Morikawa going down the list. How much investment? Because it is going to be, I have a bad feeling. I know we've talked a lot about the weather. It's going to be start and stop this weekend.
Yeah, I'm usually a Sunday Masters guy. So I'll tune in once we're coming down the final stretch after the cut's been made, we're going in the championships round. That sort of gets intriguing to me. I'll be watching it a little bit more. Like I said, I need a little bit more background. I need to know are there any villains? I know the guys from the Live and PGA. I know that it's kind of like West Side Story. You know, these guys are two different sides, the greasers and the socials or something. I know there's different things going on. I need something to sink my teeth into.
I might be I don't think Brooks Koepka has been the most lovable golfer out there, but I kind of like Brooks Koepka. I can admire a guy who goes like, he wanted to be a baseball player growing up.
Brooks Koepka, if I'm correct, he doesn't follow all of the golf.
Yeah, he knows he's really good at it. He really only shows up to play the majors. He doesn't care about the others. All
right.
It's honestly, it's why it's kind of why the Live Golf thing actually worked really well for him, because as he was making the decision, he was getting paid lots of money. He was only having to play a few events a year. He was only having to play 54 events when he played, and he could still play the majors.
He's very good at golf. He probably doesn't love golf.
Right. And he's kind of openly admitted that.
And people don't like when people are of that.
I have no problem with Koepka, but if you probably wanted to highlight the single villain,
yes,
it would be Koepka, because the reason, the Live Golf Tour fit him perfectly. I only got to play 14 events all year, and I'm making $180 million that you guaranteed. Plus, if I win a couple tournaments, and I can still play the majors, which is all I really care about. And Koepka at the time was banged up. He's suffered so many injuries. He was banged up, and I've read where he didn't think. I have not watched the. I think it's called Full Swing on Netflix. I was told again yesterday I've got to watch it, and I really do need to watch it. Maybe if it's raining a lot this weekend, I'll take time out. But he's on there. I've heard his scenes in particular are Joe Pesci-esque with some language.
Okay.
So maybe I was told, if the kids are in the room and the Koepka, if they're not accustomed to certain words, maybe chauffeur them out. But I like Koepka. Now there might be some of you out there who go, okay, he's the villain. It will be interesting to see today how guys like Phil Mickelson, guys like Dustin Johnson, the true villain of the golfing world, Patrick Reed, they're all sitting at 1 under. Can they make a run and put themselves in contention to discuss?
And at some point, we're going to have to take a break, but at some point, I assume Monday, maybe more, depending on how he does. Sam Bennett. He's going to be one to talk about because he did extremely well.
Did fantastic yesterday.
Amateur
from.
I want to say rookie.
Yeah, amateur. Nice. He's not a rookie. He's an amateur, and from Texas A&M, making his first appearance, played fantastic. He'll tee off at 10 a.m. today. So I got a feeling, based on the weather, we'll be discussing this Monday morning in terms of kind of doing a preview, be talking about the LSU Cyclone Series, and be almost previewing Championship Monday.
Okay.
I feel like we'll be doing that.
All right.
We'll see what the weather does. We'll see what the weather does. David weighs in on our live stream. Have you tried ranch ice cream?
That might be a bridge too far.
Yep. I'm with you. Well put.
And Anthony says Bill eats out of the trail mix bowl at the local bar.
That's about right. Oh, I'm going to get some fruit. Going to get some cherries over here. Going to get some lime. Yep.
Yeah,
There's
we
my
go.
buffet.
Hey, Anthony also said what Jen said about the Fritos. He had done that. We'll come back. We got the week in review. Jen has worked on all the quotes.
Can't wait.
The things you have missed from this past week. We will do that, and we will wrap up the Friday morning show. It's the early game. I want to 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 1075 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. The Powerball jackpot for Saturday is $186 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See SCEducationLottery.com for jackpot odds in a store near you.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Let's text entitled with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. JT means Jeeps and trucks. The biggest Jeep and truck selection in South Carolina is at JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. Get your new 2023 Jeep Wrangler now. Save $5,000 off. Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Compass, Wagoneer. New Jeeps up to $7,500 off. New Rams up to $11,000 off. Shaky credit, don't sweat it. JT says you're approved. JT means Jeeps and trucks. 378 Lexington. JT'sJeepRam.com. Jeep celebration event.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Hi, my husband and I own a small business in Columbia, and we ended up needing some help with some tax problems that we had and needed to get resolved. We initially owed about $300,000, and John Ecton and his law firm ended up getting us an offer in compromise, which dramatically reduced the amount owed. I would personally recommend the Ecton law firm. They did an excellent job for us, and if this is a concern that you're facing, they're definitely the people you should call.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
If you're thinking about retiring soon, be sure to tune in to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby of Preservation Specialists, Sunday mornings at 10. Join Pat as he talks about the latest trends and headlines that could impact your retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 10 to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby. Securities offered through Arcadios Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Arcadios Wealth. Preservation Specialists and Arcadios are not affiliated through any ownership.
If you have a pest problem, stop taking online advice from someone named Pretty Bubbles 82 and talk to the 75-year professionals at Dodson Pest Control. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, as this Friday rolls along, thanks again for listening. It's time for a First Alert traffic update. Not much in the way of an update to give you as the morning has continued on. Traffic flows have remained relatively calm. No big collisions, nothing with slowdowns, even a bad stalled out vehicle causing an issue off of an exit. Hoping things can continue this way as we make it forward into, of course, what could be a busy travel portion for the later phase of this Friday into your upcoming weekend. Thanks again, though, for listening. If anything pressing changes, we'll let you know. This has been a First Alert traffic update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Shivarola.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
$8:51 on a Friday morning. Texter weighs in. Full Swing is excellent. I do need to watch that documentary on Netflix. And Jen, Preston, he says, y'all ever know people that put ice in milk?
Yes.
Is that normal too? Is that a normal thing? You do? Preston raises his hand quickly.
Well, wait. Quick. I raised my hand in shame. It wasn't quickly.
That's true. He did do the Seinfeld hand up,
It's
head
me.
hand up, head down. I'm
Yeah, I don't drink milk like that anymore. But when I was a child, yeah, there wasn't nothing. No, I didn't see any problem with that.
Yeah, as a kid I did as well. And my mom was a big 2 ice cubes and a glass of chocolate milk.
Ugh. Wait. I want to revisit a hot take Preston had earlier off air, and we don't have time for it today because I want to get to our weekend in review. Preston Thorne said he does not like boiled peanuts, and there's two things about that. One, I would like to discuss that further with you when we have an opportunity on air. Two, have you seen do you like dry roasted peanuts?
Yes.
Okay. Going back to the sunflower seeds, have you seen have both of y'all seen the kind of I say new thing? I'm sure they've been around for a long time, but my father started eating them, the dry roasted peanuts, but they're I think they're fried.
Yes.
And they have
They're in my car. I'm sorry.
What is wrong with you two?
I love those. They're local within the state. They're so good.
Yeah. Have you seen these?
Have not.
I'll bring them in Monday morning.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Please, someone remember the Preston Thorne doesn't like boiled peanuts take because we
in my calendar
have to come back to that
To
one.
clarify, doesn't love boiled peanuts.
Okay.
Let's be
All right.
clear.
All right. He did say he'd eat them.
Language matters.
All right. There we go. All right. Let's do it. It's we took a day off on Wednesday, but somehow, some way, we've still found enough audio to give you a week in review. All the things that you missed on the early game, the calls, the blunders. I'm sure there's some good things in there as well. Jen has worked very hard on it. Here is our week in review. Oh, it started.
I've got revved up. My back is loosening up this morning.
He's
We're ready
good.
to go.
Not the swiftest of foot. Was that for me?
Anybody want to
Oh,
because
yeah, Bueller.
It's kind of a cool experience to have everybody taking pictures of. They weren't taking pictures of me, of course.
5. He's got that voice that he's got. 5.
Yeah.
And Jen, when you were playing these women's sports, were everybody just like, "Oh, thank you, my lady, nice play, good
Oh,
shot."
absolutely. Oh, bless her heart.
My dad used to say there's no such thing as a friendly.
Objects in the mirror are not as tall as they appear.
Yeah, there's nothing like the famous Florida accent. If there's one thing we're known for, it's that famous Tampa accent. Deep, sonorous, rich.
I've always liked watching him play because he's a violent player, and he'll hit you.
We're exhausted, all three of us. It's been just infighting the entire time. We're cranky. We're groggy.
Those flavored sunflower seeds.
Me, I'm a humble guy.
Yeah.
I don't like to get on my horse about anything.
I do like the sunflower seed. Don't get me wrong. I take mine pre-shelled any day of the week.
I think we're finished with Chris's segment here since he's not on board with us. So it's been good talking to you, Chris.
Yeah, all right. There was a lot happening, and we'll get through it all next week. Good segment. All right. What you got today?
A wonderful time with friends. I don't know. It's like, 7
You
something
don't
in the morning.
You don't do any show prep? People accuse me all the
Do
time.
you know how long it is before there's 7 hours, Bill? I got a lot that could happen between now and then.
Bill still hasn't show prep for this show.
Oh, the purity of get out of here.
Well, 2 mistakes this morning. 2 mistakes, but we've that's not bad. If we're 1 an hour, I'm doing pretty good.
The metrics, the analytics, 1 hour. We're good.
Yeah, 1 per hour. One of you two could step in and take us to break right now.
No, we're just gonna go let this one ride out.
It's actually just kind of fun to hear you kind of in a. And I got a little.
And that's everything that occurred on the early game this week. I forgot you missed Heath. I forget while we were into accents.
I might have been talking about you went from Tony Annan into Heath.
See, we got Happy Heath this week. It was great.
I surprisingly was angry when I asked him what he had on the show. He was like, I don't know. I was like, aren't you supposed to be the professional of this entire station? I get on the message boards. People love you. You're the professional, Heath. You're the one that everybody looks up to. We're supposed to mirror Heath Klein. And he's on our show saying, I don't do show prep. I don't know.
It's all right.
It's been a day.
It's been a fun week.
Real quick, Thomas asks, where do you purchase these peanuts you speak of, Jen?
I've got them at that Lowe's Foods store. Just because I've seen where they have all the local products within the state. Yep.
There you go.
So good.
We will get into that more next week.
Can't wait.
You two have a happy Easter.
Yes, sir.
You too.
Everybody else out there, we'll have a happy Easter. We'll see you Monday.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a good Easter.
Have a good Easter. We're gonna get pressed on these fried peanuts here.
It's kind of cutting out a little bit. Got to go meet a trim guy at the house.
But they're fried.
794-8250.
Yeah, they're fried. At least we got some cutting out going.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have a great week. Love everybody. See y'all next.
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay.